Happy Monday, people. Right off the top, for the people, I'll answer a fan comment from Thursday night on YouTube. I am a regularly tuned in viewer of FT. This username is HND. Happy to be an Angels fan 20 plus years with the budget and connections budget FT has. When will you host other analysts to talk Angels baseball? This show is high energy, fast paced, bringing more charismatic, detail oriented speakers to talk Angels. They want Angels coaches, players. I don't know, AJ, if he's talking about wanting an Angels show or if he just wants more Angels on the show. We did happen to answer that request the next day by bringing on Kyle Hendricks, and today we're going to talk about the Angels for a nice, hearty segment. Those first place 9-6 Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
We talk about the Angels a lot, Scott. You love the Angels. I don't think there's anybody that likes the Angels as much as you do, right?
Yeah. So don't you feel like we're giving them their due? My thing is I always want to make sure that even equity is being given to every team within reason, right? If it's September, we're not talking about the 100-loss team as much as the 100-win team. But do you feel like they're getting enough love on our show?
I feel like we're pretty nice to everybody on the show. I don't know that we really are biased towards anybody or not. Listen, I mean, we talk Rockies, and they're terrible. We talk White Sox, they're not very good. We talk Marlins, they're not very good. I mean, we talk about a lot of teams that are. We talk about the good teams and we talk about the bad teams. So we're equally good and bad.
I think we honestly get roughed up by those Angel fans. I mean, they always seem to have a problem with whatever we say. So I know I've gotten roughed up one or two times about it.
Same.
And so have you. So I feel like we've talked about them a lot. We've given them credit for picking up all these acquisitions, and we're just honest in our opinions and facts. That's all.
Also, they're 9-6. They're not 13-2. So It's nice, but it's a marathon. Let's be patient. And let's also make sure everyone knows about our giveaway. AJ, do you have fancy florals to show off? That is Zero Impacts. Nice. AKA the Julios. You got 24 hours to enter. Tweet or Instagram post. You got to find the post. Okay? Have you seen those? You like those?
I love them. Can I put
Look
in?
at that. Yeah, you can put in.
I might have some fake accounts or something. I might have my son do one.
Get your burner in there. All you have to do is
beautiful.
like the post and comment your favorite player. Thank you, Vanna. Nice. Oh, great picture, too. There they are. The florals are sick, so check them out. And if you win, you have a chance to win if you enter online. See our rules and all that for details. Then we will get you this pair in the size of your choice. If not, then check them out online. Go give them a look. All right, let's charge the mound.
Charging the mound.
Justin Steele is going to have season-ending surgery to repair the flexor tendon and UCL in his elbow. AJ, what did you think when you saw this news for a guy who's really been their workhorse the last couple of years?
It stinks. It stinks for everybody involved. First of all, let's start with Justin. It stinks for Justin because he's been a really good pitcher for the last couple of years for the Cubs. And then it obviously stinks for the Cubs because he was one of their guys behind Shota, and then you throw in Tyon and Matthew Boyd, and Ben Brown was supposed to be Ray. Now, listen, Colin Ray did pitch nice for him yesterday against the Dodgers, so he stepped in nicely. But over the long haul, you want Justin Steele in there. It stinks, all these elbow injuries, all these injuries in general. I don't know if it's me or just seems like there's way more injuries this year than there have been in the past. You can't blame WBC. You can't blame a lockout. You can't blame a shortened spring training, a longer spring training. It just seems like there's been more injuries than I remember.
What about Tokyo? His season started early. Not blaming that either? Nah.
No, I mean, yeah. Go ahead, AJ. Sorry.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he threw what? He only threw 3 innings maybe? In Tokyo?
Yeah, I think he got knocked out in the fourth, maybe. Yeah, it wasn't a long outing.
It wasn't. He didn't throw 100 pitches in March. I mean, he threw, I think, 70 to 75 pitches. So it's not like, Todd, he didn't throw 100 pitches.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to say. Like, it was a scheduled start, spring training. I guess you could say spring training start. It was during spring training, but the games did count. So it was expected for him to go out there, and it's just an unfortunate event. The injuries this year, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like this every year, but it seems like the big name injuries and, people are dropping like flies. And that's the tough part, and that's why you need to have depth and you need to have really good farm system, and I believe in that. And if not, you got to go out and get some guys. And there's some teams that are hurting right now with some big names.
Yeah, there are 67 pitches in that.
Yeah, that's not
67, 77, 78. Last outing was 91.
But he also had.
one,
Let's not forget he
what?
had a little something last year, didn't he? Didn't he have a little elbow something? I thought at the end last year. Am I wrong in that? I know he had a hamstring early, but I thought he had something later in the year. But I could be wrong on that. I thought I read that somewhere that he had a little something going in there.
I got to look. I know he had hammy too. I remember that. I got to look.
Well, hammy hurt on opening day.
Else.
Hammy hurt. Remember last year on opening day, I think it was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think it was opening day. Yep, and I think he missed about a month last year. So I'll look into anything else from last season. The other thing, he was on Northside territory, our Cubs show a couple months ago, heading into spring training. He's a really good interview, by the way, and that one still plays if you want to go back and listen to it. But he talked about how so many of the Cubs are there just pumping, working hard in Arizona all off season. And I'm like, that's awesome. You love to hear that as a fan, but it does still bring up the topic of the arm injury epidemic. And you wonder if pitchers are doing things right, and that includes the offseason. Are they going to full speed ahead in the wintertime?
Maybe. I don't know. But by the way, he had Tommy John in 2017. Justin Steele did, and he was on the shelf last year with elbow tendonitis towards the end of 2024. So this wasn't something I think that just popped up. And here's the problem. You could be as healthy as a horse, and all of a sudden you just will go out and throw one pitch, and you see guys go like this all the time. So it doesn't matter whether or not it was. And yeah, I mean, listen, I think we need to look at the way we train. I think we've talked about it with doctors on here, Todd. I think we've talked about it with other people that are involved with this, injury experts, that guys don't throw enough. Everyone's lifting heavier, but are they throwing enough? And I think it's something we need to continue to study and figure out because there's just too many guys going down.
Yeah, there's got to be something different. I mean, I talked to like the Jim Maloneys of the world, the big-time Reds pitcher back in the day who threw close to 100, if not 100, that people don't talk about. I said, Jim, what do you do? Like, what's the difference? We iced and then we long tossed, and then we iced and we long tossed every day. I'm like, even after you threw 180 pitches, yep, just long toss, and that's really all they did. I mean,
run.
I don't, yeah, and just
running.
Get that lactic acid out of there. But I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know. Are they lifting too much? Because he used to tell me, like, how about your workout sessions? He'd be like, listen, we had to work. I had to find another job. So whether it was cutting trees or helping the dad out with the local business, whatever it is, they have no time for that. You know what I'm saying? So their workouts were picking up heavy, loads of, mulch or whatever it is they're doing. Lumberjacks, wood, whatever it was. And that was their workout.
Yeah. For Steele, I mean, this is a guy who is fun to watch pitch. Like I mentioned, he was pretty reliable the last few years, 5th-round pick. So this is a homegrown guy they were really proud of to have in the rotation. Cubs are trying to take another step. Will the Cubs be okay? They're off to a booming offensive start. They had a 16-0 win on Saturday. Pete Crow Armstrong was the man on Sunday with 2 homers back in his home state. Let's check out the rotation here. AJ, want to read through it and let us know where you think it stacks up now?
Oh, Shota at the top is great. Shota at the top is A1. Can Matthew Boyd stay healthy? Tyon's a good compliment to Shota. Ben Brown we'll see. Colin Ray we'll see. I think they still need another one. But I will say this: there is one good thing. They're off to a great start. They're 11-7. But the division, again, I just until I see somebody in that division other than the Brewers do something, Todd's Reds or whoever it has to be, I still think the Cubs right now on paper are the best team in the division.
Yeah, and I would have to agree with you on that. It kind of hit or miss a little bit. The Reds are kind of getting going a little bit more against the Pirates. It's really kind of all over the place. Nobody wants to take full charge. I know it's early, but at the end of the day, we'll see how it goes with more games. But yes, the injury bug of every division is really bothersome the most. I mean, the one, and I hate to change gears on the Cubs, but the one in that Central that really bothers me, that Matty McClain, man. This guy has been absolutely exceptional when he plays, and now he's got another injury too as well. So every team seems to have something, but for the Cubbies, it's a good top to bottom. It's not great pitching-wise. So, again, I think I have to agree with AJ. They might need another starter or two to get them going, especially with this injury.
The Reds rotation actually looks pretty good right now in comparison. You got Hunter Green, who was dealing again at the top. Lodolo's really good. You got to keep him healthy. Martinez is pretty durable. Brady Singer's pretty damn durable. Andrew Abbott right now in the 5, and there's a few other youngsters, including some former first-round picks who could make their way back up to the show at some point. Rhett Lauder and Chase Burns. So to me,
Yeah,
AJ,
I got to see him do it.
That's
though.
a
I got
better
to see the
rotation.
Reds do it.
I know. Okay.
I mean, here's my thing with the. I mean, I know Tyon can pitch a whole year. I know Boyd has pitched a whole year before. We saw Shota do it last year. You know, the other guys in this rotation, I think, can do it for the Cubs. The biggest problem for me is, yes, Brady Singer can pitch a whole year. Hunter Green missed a bunch of time last year. Lodolo seems like he's always injured. Abbott seems like he's always injured. This isn't a knock on these guys, and I hate this. I hate bringing up injuries with guys. And I hate when, they're always hurt. They're always hurt. I hate saying that about guys. But at some point, you have to prove that you can make 30 starts a year over the long haul, and you have to do it year after year. That's what makes the great ones great. Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, when those guys were going great, they were making 30, 32 starts every year. That's why they're first ballot Hall of Fame guys. CC Sabathia.
Yep.
Yep. For Steele, by the way, we don't know if it's TJ, right? My guess is when they say he's going to have surgery to end the year, that it might end up being the internal brace. That's becoming a lot more popular. That's what Spencer Strider had. And if that's the case, you get Steele back in about 12 months versus closer to 16 months if it's a second Tommy John surgery. So I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to make sure that it's the brace if they're able to do it, if he's brace eligible, right?
Yes, you always want to get a brace. The least, isn't that what Shohei had, the brace? On him,
I think
didn't
so.
Shohei have
Yeah.
the brace, right? The brace is better than the full Tommy John, but they both suck. I mean, it sucks either way. I mean, it seems like the brace now is the new Tommy John that we maybe should have done, whenever they, I don't know. They both suck. It just sucks that we keep having to talk about this.
Yeah, it does. And hey, I mean, gives more life to the Brewers too. The Cubs had such a banging offensive start to the season.
Yeah.
It seems like the offense is going to be much better if Kyle Tucker looks like this and you're able to plug him in like that. But even for Milwaukee, I mean, their rotation was in shambles. They got Quintana back the other day, who looked really good. Peralta's your guy at the top, but I mean, that is not a sexy looking rotation right now for Milwaukee. A lot of guys on the mend that they'll get back at some point this year: Brandon Woodruff, Robert Gasser, and more. But right now, do you like the Cubs better than everyone else in the division?
I would say right now, the way they're kicking, yeah, without a doubt. But that can change today. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it's wide open. I had the Reds winning, the division, and it's still wide open for every single team. So, again, Brewers had that slow start, really slow, got beat up by the Yankees a little bit. And now every team, here we go. And it's like the NL, everything in the Central, the AL Central too as well. It's kind of just like, here they go, do. Who's going to take off? It's early.
It is early.
I love that word. Two words. It's early.
11-7 Cubs. Brewers are 8-8. Reds are 8-8. Cardinals are 7-8, and then the Pirates are off to a 5-11 start. What do you think of the division so far? First few weeks of the season, AJ.
Well, the Cubs have been the best team in this division, especially if Kyle Tucker keeps swinging it the way he swung it. The Cubs are going to need something out of Shaw at the bottom of the order. I know they hit 9th last night. They're going to need something out of him. Swanson's got to get going. Their defense, though, has been incredible. I don't know if you guys watched the Sunday night game, but they made some great plays in the defense on the defensive side, especially with Horner and Swanson up the middle. So I do like the Cubs, and it pains me, as everyone knows, to say that. But the Reds got hot, and who did the Reds beat up on this past weekend? That's how they're back at 500. I mean, the Reds got to play the old Pirates, and they missed Skeens. So guess how you get hot if you're in the Central? You play the Pirates, and you don't face Skeens. And now Skeens pitches today, so. He'll try to get him back on the right side. But, I mean, if Skeens doesn't pitch for the Pirates, it's been rough so far. Keller's had a couple nice starts, but it's been really Skeens and you need Keller. And then with Jones down, it's been rough. That's where you got to make the wins up in the Central right now.
Yeah, I think Bubba Chandler's on the cusp, too. They're tempted.
I still can't believe he didn't make the team out of spring training with the way he pitched in spring training. I was shocked. Remember we had him on the show. I was shocked he didn't make the team.
I don't know what the plan is there. I mean, people wanted to see Skeens crack the team right away last year, and they didn't do that. They waited. They did the baby steps, and then they brought him up, I think it was like May 12th, something like that. So whatever plan that they have, I don't necessarily agree with, because if Bubba Chandler's ready and he's up there from the start of the year, you get yourself a little first-round pick if he wins Rookie of the Year too.
That matters to teams like Pittsburgh. That matters.
Yeah,
and
it matters a
like
lot.
Skeens got called up May 12th, right? And they still he won Rookie of the Year. So they don't get it. They not get a draft pick.
They didn't because they didn't call him up from the jump. I'm 90% sure on that one. Let me double check though. But so the Rookie of the Year, he gets the full year of service time, but they did not call him soon enough. So he got called up on May 11th. They did not get that first round pick. You get a full year of service if you're the NL Rookie of the Year, first or second place. And on the other side, if you get a Rookie of the Year or a top 3 Cy Young, then you get a first round pick, but you have to call them up. I don't remember if it's at the start of the season or by a certain time, but whatever it was, they messed it up. So they didn't get the pick out of it.
Wow.
That's rough.
That's like the White Sox losing the most games in history and can only pick 10th. I mean, that's right. That ranks right up there.
Yeah. I would say this is worse since you actually control this. You could have done it.
True.
You could have brought him up. White Sox get punished. True. They can't do anything about it besides to get better. But I mean, anyway,
they could win more games. They could win more games, but that.
Yeah. They could. They had a good weekend. We'll get to that. Anyway, we're getting ready for Tyler Glasnow. We'll talk more about that Cubs-Dodgers series and how things are going for LA post-Tokyo series trip, which was awesome for them. They've kind of come back down to earth right now. Yes, they're not going to go 162-0. They might not even win 100 games, right? It's a good team, but we'll talk to Tyler coming up next. It's getting a little warmer, depending on where you are around the country. Might be time to start getting fitted for new clubs. PXG can get that done for you, and they've got highly trained, very experienced fitters over at PXG to give you a deep understanding of how you can optimize your clubs to get the most out of your swing. You know, we've talked a lot about torpedo bats this year, which cater to some swings in the big leagues. I think you want clubs to cater to your swing too. I'm sure, AJ, you've played with someone where you're like, dude, that's not the right club for you.
Yeah, my son.
What'd you tell him?
My son. So my son didn't really want to play golf, and then he gets to about 15. He's like, "Oh, I want to play golf." And he's like, "Get me clubs." I'm like, "No, I have a friend who's an ex-PGA Tour player. He'll give you a pair." But the difference is my son's 6'2" and he's like 5'8". So the clubs didn't exactly line up perfectly with the height difference. So it matters. It matters if you get fitted. It will help your game. Now, will it make you a scratch golfer? No, but it will definitely help your game. They can tailor them to your swing speed, to your path. And if you watch the Masters this weekend, everyone saw Rory win, and the way he did, those guys all have tailored clubs to their swings. It does make a difference. It doesn't make you a good golfer right away. It won't make you Rory McIlroy right off the bat, but it will definitely help you and make you a better golfer. And I highly recommend the PXG experience. This is the second time I've been fitted by them, and both times have been outstanding.
And for a limited time, save up to 20% on your entire order at pxg.com/foul, pxg.com/foul to save up to 20% on your entire order. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Hey, tonight we've got another playback game. We picked a good one. We picked this weeks ago, and we just got lucky. We've got Paul Skeens going tonight against the Washington Nationals.
It's true.
So I'm pumped for it. Yeah. The Baseball America Hot Sheet Show is going to have some guests joining us. So JJ Cooper will join us. Lance Brozdowski is going to join us later on this show. So we'll talk to him about it, but he'll also be on the playback game later. So we'll do a little all cast with you. Follow our page. It's all free. For some of you that are like, oh, I don't pay for MLB.TV. It's the MLB.TV free game of the day. So all you need in his account. I don't know about the in-streaming and the blackouts and all that. You got to email the commissioner about that. But for most people around the country, you should be able to get to this game and watch it with us at the same time. So make sure you check that out. Again, it's the Pirates and the Nationals. And you might be like, meh, but it's Skeens. It's Skeens, baby. And we'll talk about a lot of guys, obviously, that have become big prospects and then really are blossoming in the big leagues. Skeens, James Wood. We'll talk about how Dylan Cruz off to a slower start, all that later on the game.
Brad Lord.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, we're back. We're waiting for Glasnow. Can we get to Ump Show while we wait for Tyler? We are producing as we go here. All right, let's do it.
Steve, right.
What the heck happened in this Astros-Angels game on Saturday night with Mike Trout trying to reach for a foul ball, catching it, ball getting ripped out of the glove by a fan who was not hostile like the two bozos last year in the World Series game that tried to rip Mookie Betts' arm off. But AJ, what did you think when you saw this one?
It's tough because, everyone's like, oh, we don't want nets up. But if you put a net up, it stops this from happening, right? And it's still a dangerous situation because Trout did catch it, but they kind of caught it at the same time, right? It was like Trout's glove went around the guy's hand and he just pulled his hand out of his glove. It wasn't malicious at all. And then Trout, if you guys saw, met with him and his son after the game and had a nice conversation. It wasn't a malicious thing at all. I understand why Trout was mad. Trout was into the stands. It's just a crazy rule that we need to figure it out, but there's no way we want fans closer to be more involved in the action. But you see the guy, he's like, man, my hand was in your glove, man. Like, sorry. He was apologizing like right away, and the other guy gives him a high five. Like, I actually think the guy caught it. I don't know. It's such a funky, wonky thing. It was like the guy caught it, Trout knocked it out, and then, I don't know. But it was in the stand, so the umpires made the right call, and good on Trout for not getting too mad.
I agree with you on the end there. Look, the only possibility that they can't call that a catch, in my opinion, from watching it over, if the fan hits the ball first. I couldn't tell whether the fan touched it first, then Mike caught it, because it looked like Mike did catch the ball as we're watching it here again. It's in his glove, and the fan, it's in it. That ball, I would die on that cross there. That ball was in his glove, and he took it out of there. And I'll be honest with you, Mike is just the nicest guy, as you know. He was like, hey, are you okay? Like, he kind of like downplayed it a little bit, which in the heat of the moment, you don't know what you do. We've had this before. We've seen it. We have no clue what anybody in here would do at that heat of the moment. And it was barely in the stand. So I guess the rule's the rule, but I'm just surprised they didn't really take that big of a look at it.
Yeah, AJ, shouldn't they look at that and be like, or even take it a step further and just like you said, either figure out netting, or obviously you want to keep people as close to the field as possible for the fan experience. But it just seems like this might start popping up more frequently. You're going to get some more people on the edges. I know, me too.
Not. You know what? Because the only other thing, as much as we love that Mike Trout did meet with the people, as Frankie said, Frankie in our chat said, and I agree with this. Like, we don't want people doing stuff just so they can go, hey, if I grab the ball out of Mike Trout's glove, then I'm going to get to meet him later, right? Like, we don't need that. We don't want that. Yeah. So, and here they are meeting with, and the guy apologized. You can see him on the replay. He's like, my bad, right away. And so they're getting to meet Mike, and it looks like the kid got a bat from Mike. All that's great and all, but let the players play. Stay out of the way. I know Mike was into the stands. It's a fan's right to go get the ball. Just be careful, people. Please be careful, because we don't want someone to get hurt on something like this, and we don't need an altercation that doesn't need to happen. Please.
Wait, so why is the play last year in the World Series fan interference, but this isn't? Because the umpire, Alan Porter, was asked about this post-game, and he said, I wasn't in the World Series. I don't even remember seeing the play. So he's not a baseball fan, clearly.
That's not true. That's not true, because that play was everywhere.
Why would he say that?
Because it makes it an easy answer for when they ask the next question. If he didn't see that, if he says he saw it, then he has to explain the difference. If he goes, I didn't see it, I just went off this one, that's the easy way out. It's an easy answer. And I understand why he said it, because he didn't want to answer more questions. But I don't know why one was one thing and one wasn't. It doesn't make sense. Maybe because the other guys were yelling at Mookie Betts and these guys were nice about it.
Yeah. No,
but it didn't matter. Next play flies out. But what if it did matter?
It does matter. I think it does. I think it's one of those things where you have to take another peek. Ron Washington, didn't he just like, he came out nice and easy and then just walked back in. So I don't know. Maybe we just downplay it like the Angels did and just move on. But it could have been something again that could have hurt somebody. But yeah, I mean, if you're into baseball, everybody saw that play.
Yeah, I just think slippery slope. We got to be careful here, because you're. Even last year, they had to learn a quick lesson, AJ, and we were part of the blast, because originally they were like, nah, we're not going to do that much. We're just going to kick them out of the game, and it sounds like they're going to come back. So this part I do want to emphasize that I do think Trout did right. Trout seemed to point out that the fan was apologetic and really was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do this. Last year, those guys are grabbing bets, and then they go on a press tour, essentially. This is our turf. We're defending him. They go on a couple stupid shows, right? And then all of a sudden, fans are coming after them, and then there's an article like, oh, I'm getting threats and whatever. Like, you were threatening Betts. you guys handled this completely wrong, right? Like bozo thugs trying to go after players. This was handled opposite by the fan, obviously trying to maybe even teach an important lesson to his son. Like, I made a mistake. I'm saying sorry right away. Trout rewards that. So that part of the narrative I thought was actually really cool.
Agreed. It was two completely different people. One person was sorry. The other two clowns were not sorry. I mean, they were, oh, yeah, like you said, on shows, this is our turf. We're going to be back there tomorrow, game 3. Whatever, dude. Just go away. And they got banned for a long time, I believe. My question is, I don't know what the hitter ended up doing that about, but if he would have got a hit and then scored a run or whatever, man, I would have been – if I was catching, oh, man. I was Logan O'Hoppe back there and Trout makes the catch and he – say, God forbid, the guy hits a home run. I'm screaming at Alan Porter like, you cost us a run. This is your fault. And I'm probably getting ejected right there. So I'm glad. I don't know what ended up happening, but the Angels handled it better than most people would have.
Yeah, I mean, that's why next pitch he flew out. So if it's next pitch homer, then that part of it becomes an even bigger discussion. We can ask Tyler Glasnow about this. He's getting set up now. So we'll hit a quickie break, and we'll talk to Glasnow about this and, of course, about his Dodgers next. All right, let's hit HelloFresh right now. AJ, you're back in town, I think, for like a whole week maybe-ish, right?
Yeah, for a little while. I'm back in town.
So here comes America's #1 meal kit with some pre-portioned ingredients, and you can get a little home-cooked meals because you've been hitting the road pretty hard with restaurants and all that food. So it's nice to get a home-cooked meal, but also not have to do the homework.
Yeah, not have to do the shopping. The shopping's delivered right to you. You still get to do the cooking, which is part of it that I love. I love to do the chopping and the dicing and the slicing, and then you get to cook the food instead of ordering it and it comes, and you can make it the way you want. They give you spice packets included. You can throw as much salt, as much pepper as you want. You can throw butter in if you want. You can do whatever you want. It's not pre-made. It's pre-packaged. You go in. You say you're making chicken. They give you the chicken. They give you the spice to put on it. You still got to slice all the vegetables, put it in there, cook it up fresh. Comes out usually delicious.
Mm-hmm. And you can get up to 10 free meals and a free high protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/FT10FM, 1 item per box with active subscription. So that could be like a little chicken, beef, steak added to the meal. Free meals applied at discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. Did some action this weekend on HelloFresh. Got me a little like a Mexican beef bowl where it had ground beef, nachos, rice, homemade salsa. They give you all the ingredients. It was great. Hey, next up that we want to show you for a minute before we bring on Tyler Glasnow, and he probably will get a kick out of this, is the FT fake figurines that we put together this weekend. Did you see these suckers?
I didn't know anything about it until we got brought up.
It came up over the weekend because it was one of those AI things where people are entering it, and they botched the faces pretty good, but
I think you look good.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like my face, but I'll take the bod.
I'm trying to figure out why my legs are so short. I have the shortest legs of all time.
Maybe they were like, oh, catchers, like they've got a catcher's model.
That's a good one.
Pap looks like a Ken doll.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh,
and Ken, there's your real Ken doll.
Oh my God.
Kenny Ballgame Rosenthal. We're looking at Kratz, who I thought looked a little like Homer Simpson. And Kipnis had a camp. Check it out on our Instagram. It's pretty funny.
Oh my God.
All right, here he is. Tyler Glasnow joining us right now, making everyone jealous with the weather too. What's going on? How's everything going since you've come back from Tokyo? Has it been like, oh wow, back to the real world?
Kind of, yeah. I guess it kind of just all blends together. Like in season when you're traveling for baseball, you're like, I feel like I'm in a road city. Like a little different, and the signage is a little weird, but it's just like all blends together.
I saw you on the road, Tyler. You barely spoke to me. I had to chase you down to say hi. I'm kind of perturbed at you, a little irritated at you right now.
You came in at me. I had a bullpen. I had a lift, dude. I didn't have you guys all coming at like 3 to 3:30. The media times are a little weird. It's always like right when pitchers are doing stuff, which is probably good for players. You don't have to be in there when like all the other media's in there. But
that's one of the problems that I have. And listen, as a former player, I get it because I still feel awkward when I walk into the clubhouse and I'm just standing there and I'm like, don't look at anybody. Don't look at the TV. I can't sit down. And I'm just like, hurry up, Dave. I need to talk to you for 5 minutes. Oh, who do I know? Oh, hey, there's Max. Oh, hey, there's Tyler. Oh, Blake. Oh, hey, guys. And then you want them to leave them alone. But, you walked in and I was like, oh, I know him. I can say hi to him. And you were like, oh, sorry, I'm super busy. I'm too cool. I have great hair and I'm in Southern California.
I was 5 minutes late to my bullpen, dude.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fair.
Should we do it differently? That's my question, AJ.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything we should do differently to make it easier for both sides? Yeah, I did that a billion times in life. You're standing there awkwardly. The guys are like changing, and I'm like, I know him. Should I say hi now? Should I go later? This is so weird.
I think the best is like sometimes it's like when you're in there and it's just like a big group of people and like no one's really asking anything and they're just like standing in there waiting for something to happen for like an hour.
Yeah.
So there's like, like the
That's
questions are just like going there with some content.
But Tyler, if we go in there and I'm looking for a certain person, right? And say I'm looking to speak to Shohei, but Shohei's not in there for an hour. What am I supposed to do? Like there should be at least a 5-minute window where every player needs to be in there. Because trust me, I want to get the heck out of there too. I mean, I was like, I want a cheesesteak. I wanted to ask Kevin in Philly for a cheesesteak, but I can't just walk into the to the food room and say, Kev, can I have one of the cheesesteaks for old time's sake, right? I want to beat it out of there too.
I know it would be good to like have people talk about too, like doing like a media like room thing or like something time, whatever it is. It is kind of strange because a lot of the times the media, like I said, the hour that you get to go in is right when pitcher stretches. So it's like and then when you do a bullpen, you do it 20 minutes before pitcher stretch. So it's like you have to do all this stuff and you come back in and like you never see the media until post game. And I guess it's maybe designed like that because like you said, maybe players are like not trying to, but I could maybe go about it a little bit differently, like having a certain amount of time allotted to being like, or if you have a question, like reaching out before. I don't know how it would happen, but it always does seem weird to me that like it's always in the middle of when the pitchers and stuff are like in the middle of their day. And then I feel like a dick because you think I'm trying to like not talk to you, but I'm just 5 minutes late to a bullpen panicking.
That's crazy. Hey, so 6 innings yesterday, 7 Ks, looked really good. What is it like today? What's the next day for you? Give us your little routine action and talk a little about it last night, that breaking ball working and everything else, because I think that secondary pitch is the one that is going to get the guys out for the most part.
Yeah. So like today, generally this year we have so many guys on the roster. Like I've been on like a steady 7-day. I'm on like a Japanese schedule. So I go like pitch every Sunday basically. So it's like a lot of days in between, but I just do like a post day, like mobility reset type of thing. And then you kind of get like worked on. It's more of like an easy day today and then a lift tomorrow. But as far as yesterday in the game, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I felt lost. It was really weird. It was just one of those, like, I'd been feeling so good in spring, and then it kind of just all last start I just completely forgot how to pitch, and then it kind of leaked into this start a little bit, but I was glad I could like get through it, maybe not feeling so good. And I think when you have games where you feel so bad, you almost have to eliminate all thought, and you kind of go back to like, you just go back to the drawing board and like, here we go, let's just go compete. So I think as rough as it felt, it was nice to just kind of go have a reset and get through that one. But metrically and everything was good. I just feel like whenever I tried to step on something, I would throw the ball, like I would hit someone, or like it would just be nowhere near where I wanted it. So I think it was kind of more of like a finesse game yesterday.
Tyler, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. I mean, most starters would take that and run. So, I mean,
believe me, I'm stoked. If you asked me before the game how well I was going to do, I'd probably say 7 runs, 8 runs. Like it was one of those. I also think, too, like the shadows are on my side for sure. A 405 game in LA, like I had that working for me. So it was. I saw some video of it too. It was like light, dark, light. So it was like a strobe show trying to hit. So I think that was kind of in my favor as well. I'm sure if you ask the Cubs, they'd probably agree with that as well.
Or they just say you're really good, or they'd say you're really good. But you said something earlier, and I want to hit on it. You said the metrics are really good. So do you look at the metrics right after you start, or right after you come out of the game? Do they send them to you? How does that work with a starting pitcher in the major leagues?
It's they have it on the iPad, so after every inning you can go back and look through. And it's only times I generally want to look at it is if like something feels off, or if I'm like I said yesterday, I couldn't really get on anything. I couldn't like be aggressive and try to like anytime I maybe try to ramp up to like make something a little nasty or 2 strikes, it would just kind of like throw everything off. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going out there with like 50% stuff. And I think with the effort, the stuff was better than I thought it would be. So it's one of those things I can just check, get it out of my brain, and then just go out and compete. Because there's some times in starts where I think I'm getting on something, and I'll go look at the metrics in between, or like my slider's a little bit more depthy or a little verty, or I'm not throwing it hard, and it's just like a change in mentality. Like, all right, you thought you were throwing this about 92, but it's like 88. So just throw it a little harder, and then you can just eliminate it from your brain.
All right, so Tyler, you mentioned you're in a Japanese schedule rotation, which makes sense since you've got Yamamoto and Roki, and then maybe Shohei at some point, I don't know, in the next month or two, hopefully. Have you been tracking just this experiment that he's going through as he has nobody to talk to, right? It's not like he can be like, oh, you know what, let me call this guy in the NL who dealt with the same experience as me. Some surgeries, he's a pitcher and he's a hitter. Now he's trying to come back again as a pitcher. I know he had another bullpen session this weekend. So are you fascinated almost like as a fan and as a pitching junkie to see how he continues his rehab?
Yeah, it's definitely a unique situation. I think he can relate to people in regards of Tommy John coming back, whether you hit or pitch. Like everyone who's gone through Tommy John can relate to like what's going on, and a lot of the things he was going through earlier are like super normal, especially with that new style like hybrid type surgery. There's a lot of like similarities with guys that are coming back. Like the ups and downs can be pretty similar, but I think too, yeah, watching him go about his work. Like having like DHing and like doing his cage work and doing all that stuff, and then going out and throwing and then throwing a bullpen. I was out there for his bullpen 2 days ago, and it looked good, like effortless, good velo. Still just like getting his footing about him. I think the first couple of bullpens can always be frustrating because you start to think a lot and you don't really feel athletic. But I've watched a few of his throwing programs, and it's like trending up in the right direction. And I think everything's been feeling really good for him too. So I think once you get back into like game action, all that stuff that you're thinking about kind of goes away and you can just start competing. And I think that's when he'll really take off.
I want to talk a little about Ohtani and Suzuki a little bit too as well. Is there something that you've seen from these guys or learned something new that you can bring into your style as well? Like, I know you guys probably talk a lot about things, but is there like a routine or something you've seen these guys, you know, in practice or in the game? It's like, man, I might need to put this in my arsenal as well.
I think if I were to take one thing from someone, I think watching Yamamoto go about his like day-to-day, how consistent it is really impressive. I think the way he is on the mound too. Like I think when I'm good, I feel like I'm shooting jumpers, you know, like that, like the motor skills of when you get a basketball, you take it, you shoot, like the routine's the same. You get it. It's the time in between shots is the same. And when I'm pitching, when I'm pitching well, I feel like that's what I'm doing. I'm not thinking about where I am. I'm not thinking about what my body's doing. I'm getting the ball, I'm eliminating thought, and I'm going. And Yamamoto does it better than anyone I've seen. And I think his training reinforces that every day. He does this like crazy, weird isometric hold and stretches and stuff with this guy named Yata Sensei. And it's it's like a super different philosophy from like Western baseball of like lifting and kind of doing a bunch of different stuff. It's strength based, but it's mobility based. And the whole time you're doing it, you're in these like weird ass positions, like rolling on your head. And the main objective is to like put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, but also try to focus, like consciously think about relaxing your body while you're in a really awkward position. And I think that like resonates with me, I guess, as a pitcher, to where there's a lot of stuff you can work on physically, but the mental game is always kind of hard to work on unless you're pitching in a game. So utilizing something like that is just kind of, I don't know. I've thought about that kind of a bit.
Well, I mean, just grab the javelin, start chucking the javelin, take away your leg kick, and throw the javelin. You can be just like Yamamoto. I don't understand why it's so hard. I mean, you guys are about the same size. I mean, you're like 6'8", he's like 5'10". I mean, I don't know what I don't really see a difference in you guys.
Yeah, right. And imagine if he was like 6'8", like the way he utilizes his body and like I know sometimes baseball throwing hard, like size doesn't necessarily correlate to throwing hard. You have like your whatever muscle system that is, but I can only imagine if Yamamoto was 6'8", he might throw like 111. So maybe I'll keep picking his brain.
So on Shohei, before we kind of change the subject a little bit of pitching, when he comes back, everyone wants to know this from Dave Roberts, from everyone on the Dodgers. Are you okay if you have to piggyback him? Like if Shohei goes out there for 2 innings and they're like, hey, Glass, you got the next 7? Have you ever done that in the past? And would everybody be okay in your rotation piggybacking him?
I think, I don't know about everyone else, but I did it in Japan. I piggybacked Blake. I came in the 5th or 6th inning and then finished the game when I was up to like 4 innings. I think it'd be weird in season just having a starter routine and then having to like throw, then wait, then go throw in the bullpen. Like it's kind of more of like a reliever thing. It's something I could do. I mean, if they needed to do that, I'd find a way to like figure it out. But I think if I had my number one choice, I'd like to start the game. But I think too, a lot of times if it's like postseason or like somehow the matchup is like really great to where you have Shohei for 2, and then I wouldn't care, but I don't really know what the plan is for all that.
Let me ask you this. Oh, one more Ohtani from me. Have you seen guys, I mean, even like yourself, have you seen guys in your team get more endorsement deals just because the big dog is out there in LA with you guys, or no? Is that nothing to it?
I don't know. I actually, I don't really know. I don't do a ton of stuff myself. But I'd be curious to ask like Kike and guys like that if they've had any more like Japanese like endorsements or sponsorships or stuff like that. I know the team obviously has. I don't know if individuals have though. I think the thing that has grown for everybody though is the eyes. Like everyone's market in Japan has grown a lot just because they watch so much baseball there. Like the TV ratings. I remember the World Series is like 15 million people in Japan watch and like 14 million people in the U.S. watch. So you can tell, especially when we went over there, they all like walking down the street, everyone recognizes you. They all have like nicknames for you. And so I think that has grown, which in turn, I think after a while will get people some deals. But I'll ask around. I'm sure some people have gotten some sort of maybe some Instagram stuff or who knows.
Yeah, catching some strays. Like, oh, we can't go to Ohtani, but like, let's hit someone else with the Dodgers because they play with him. Not bad. Question for you: do you think that you're going to play against Ohtani, Roki, and Yamamoto maybe next year in the World Baseball Classic? Have you thought about it at all? Did you see the news? Judge just announced that he's going to be the first.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obvious. We all care, just as a fan, okay? We care about the pitching. We know that the position players are going to be pretty damn good. Everyone wants to know how the pitching is going to shape up. So have you thought about it? Would you do it? Or is it too weird because of where it is in the season?
I would love to do it, but it's one of those things like I've been hurt every single year to where it's not a very good, you know what I mean? Like I kind of have like my obligation and like my responsibility to the Dodgers, and it would have to be if both of us mutually agreed that like this is fine, go and do this. And if there's any hesitation or if I don't end the season in like the best shape or whatever, and I just think I'm more focused on like trying to stay healthy in season every year. And if I was healthy the last 5 years and threw 200 innings, it would be a no-brainer. But like I want to extremely bad. I wanted to last time too. I talked to Mark DeRosa last time and I saw him in the airport and we talked about it a little bit and I mentioned it to the Rays and it was just like, probably not. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I was just coming off of Tommy John, but it's kind of when I don't know, I guess when the time comes to say yes or no, I'll have to revisit it. But my main goal is just to stay healthy. And I think that's a lot of like stress early on in season, but we'll see. Who knows?
You versus Yamamoto in a javelin throwing contest before the finals of the World Baseball Classic. Be must-watch TV. I'm just saying, Tyler, try something different, okay? But I gotta ask this. Mickey Rowe got to pitch the other day. He didn't imitate you. Were Sasaki and Kershaw okay? The fact that not only did he imitate him, he kind of did him dirty, and then he gave up a bunch of runs.
Yeah. I don't even know how you would like do me. I used to do the glove thing, so that's kind of easy, but I don't do that anymore. So I just have like a standard like lift and throw. So I guess the only way you could mimic me is if you like got really far down the mound and like I don't even know how you do it. But maybe he didn't want to like use his legs that much. I have no idea.
Okay, that's fair. That was fair. I thought it was great. And every time a position player pitches, I know you're usually getting killed, but it is funny for the team because it does lighten up the mood and everyone gets a laugh when if they God forbid they go scoreless inning, then all the pitchers have to hear about it forever. But if he gives
Yeah.
up runs, he does something funny like Mickey Rowe, everyone laughs, and it kind of takes your mind off it. Okay, before we let you go, I got to know, is it time to panic with the Dodgers? Is it time? Are we panicking? Are we panicking here?
No.
Because, you guys are supposed to win 162 games, and you've lost 3 series in a row. Like, is it panic time?
No, I mean, like every year this happens to every team. Like you're gonna lose series sometimes. Last year we had like a month where we didn't win a series. So like it's not, no one in the clubhouse is tripping out too much. I just think it's 162 games. It just is what it is. Like I think too, you look back, like players have been doing well. I pitched like shit last time. I did okay this last start, but like weeks change. Some guys do good, some guys do bad. But in the total 162 game season, you have to look at it. It's like an all sum total. Like we're gonna be just fine. It'll be good. And like it doesn't help our division is playing super well right now. But if we look back at this in a couple of months, I think no one's really even gonna think about it.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah, fans freak out, obviously, but that's what you do. It's 162. Sometimes you forget about that, and they think it's 50, but it's 162.
Yeah.
Confirmed. Tyler, enjoy the day after the start, and we'll catch you in a few weeks. Thanks for hopping on, man.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you. Tyler Glasnow, LA Dodgers. Next up, Asher Roth. I love college. All right, Top Father, I got a little extra allowance this weekend, and I want to pick out a nice card, but actually it's too pricey to buy. But I can find it in a slab pack on Arena Club. What do you think?
It makes it it's so much simpler.
Yeah,
More affordable for 2. And it doesn't take that time. You don't have to get up, and you could just go right on your computer, look something up that you're interested in. And it might not even be that card. You might find something else that you like there too. One of ones, relics, whatever you could think of amazing cards that you could have and show off for the rest of your life.
And I think the big part of this also is that every time you rip a slab pack, and this is kind of a newer feature in the last few months, they'll make you an instant offer for your card. So AJ might pull a card and be like, nah, not happy about this. And then they say, no problem, instant offer for fair market value. You can accept it on the spot, fast, risk-free, AJ, and then you can go back into the well for another slab pack.
I'm in. I just need more cards. I need to be Matt Strom because I was in Philly, like I said.
Good luck.
Dude, he had a box of, he's like, check out what I just got from Arena Club. He's like, I have a problem. He had like, I don't know how many cards, and they were all in the plastic. I don't know what they call those things, but the little plastic. Yeah, they had them all in this giant box. And I'm like, you need 3 extra lockers for all these cards you have. He's like, I got a problem. But he loves it. It's his thing. And he gets them from Arena Club, so go Matt. But man, it was cool. He showed me a couple of them. They were some that I was like, that's got to be worth a couple bucks here and there.
No doubt. And you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/foul. Use code FOUL. That's arenaclub.com/foul. Code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. AJ, we love the smoke. Remember we talked to Jeff Hoffman a couple months ago about being spurned by a couple teams? Exactly. He pulls off the save yesterday. They win another series against the Orioles, 7-6 in extras, and he blows a kiss. It was nice. Just a little something to the team that said, nah.
Yeah, listen, we need rivalries. We want rivalries. We want emotion. Here it was. He gets out of it. He have a 1-run lead, right? Ghost runner or zombie runner, whatever you want to call it on second. He gets out of it, and he looks over there at the old Orioles and just blows him a little kiss. I got no problem with this. I thought it was great. I love it. I love the emotion. And listen, right there. But I also just love the fact that we need more rivals, man. We need more rivalries. Let's go. Bring back rivalries. I want to see dudes not like each other. Everyone loves each other too much on the baseball field. Off the field, be nice. On the field, who cares?
All right, we're excited about this one. Asher Roth, music artist, joining us right now on Foul Territory. Of course, you know him probably for years, like me, when I was in college and the famous "I Love College" song comes out. It was a big deal, but running now on tour coming up soon. We'll get into that in a moment. But Asher, we don't have many music artists and celebs on this show, not because we don't get asks, but we actually turn many down because they're not baseball fans, and we're like, no, Asher Roth knows ball. So how you doing? And give us the lowdown on your love for the game.
Dude, respect. Good to see you, gents. I mean, honestly, Todd Frazier, bro. Like you were the gamer from when growing up in my little league. We came third place in the States that year, and Todd went on to be the man. He's Tom's River. I'm Morrisville, Pennsylvania. So
Hey, man.
I got a lot of
love
love for that. But those boys got so big by the time I got 16, 17, and I just leaned into music. But just I've always loved the game. I agree with what AJ's saying. We still need rivalries. We still need that competition, a lot of love on the field. But, you know, it's still a beautiful game.
I love it. All right, so give us your fandom right now. So you're a Giants fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so are you liking what you're seeing right now?
Of course. I mean, coming off of the Gabe Kapler stuff. I mean, so I'm Pennsylvania, so I actually raised around Philadelphia fans. My dad, Navy brat, grew up out west, and so he actually raised me a San Francisco Giants fan. He basically was like, "Look, Willie Mays, that's the guy, right?" And so I grew up and obviously got Barry Bonds, Jeff Kent, AJ. You know, we had AJ for a little bit, but yeah. So that Philadelphia fandom also gets into you. So I've taken it to that level, but also you get to see the coaching stuff too. So Gabe, as a Phillies coach, when he was hired as the Giants coach, I wasn't thrilled about it. Then that, I think it was the 2001 season, we had 107 wins or something. And everyone was like, oh, okay. And that kind of fell apart. But Buster Posey, obviously being the guy for our run and what would be kind of quote unquote dynasty, seeing him step into the baseball operations role and seeing this early success has been a lot of fun. Some of the signings, Jung-Hoo Lee, obviously having a hot start. It's just fun to watch, and it's clean, crisp baseball, good pitching, good defense. It's fun to watch, whereas for a few years there it wasn't.
Hey, Asher, I got to ask you this. You mentioned me playing for the Giants. Did you used to throw darts at this as a kid? Because, you know,
little bit.
They didn't love me too much, you know. So my little, you know, they did retire my number, but I'm just saying Giants fans didn't love me too much. So I don't know if you threw darts at it, or you got the dartboard behind you, or what. But listen, I love my time in San Francisco. I got to play with the greatest player of all time. How happy are you that Buster Posey, one of the all-time great Giants, also is now in charge?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, a lot gets placed on experience, right? Like, especially when you get into leadership positions, you want people feel more comfortable when someone's done it before. But I think, and especially with such a rise in like data and analytics and coming out of the Farhan regime, it's nice to get Buster Posey and just guys who know ball and like the instinct. You see it a lot with managers too. They seem to be ex-catchers, like people who just kind of see the field and have that experience. Obviously, Bruce Bochy. Now we have Bob Melvin. So it's like, it's really just nice to what you perceive to be from the distance that I'm watching the game is that like, it's vibes, man. These guys are having fun playing the game. And you look at all the money pouring into sports and you look at the contracts. I know you guys were talking earlier about some of the deals that some of these guys can get with the globalization of the sport. But it's nice to just kind of watch a baseball team that seems that they're enjoying each other and enjoying the game. I think Matt Chapman's been really great for that team. He seems and feels like a Giant. Sometimes these guys come into become part of a franchise and they don't really necessarily feel the part. Matt Chapman fits the role pretty well. I think the Adames signing has been really great for them as well. Again, just from like a vibe leadership standpoint, and it's nice to see it pay off in the early going.
Let me ask you this question as a monster baseball fan. I know you're a Giants fan. Is there something as a fan that you've thought about over the years, that something in baseball you'd like to see change? I know we made a lot of changes with, you know, some rules, you know, picking up the pace, you know, with the pickoffs, you know, no running over catchers, no sliding in. Is there anything as a fan that, you know, you've seen and like, man, I wish they could change that, or you'd like to see this happening in baseball?
Dude, great question. Honestly, I think I've been pretty happy about the rule changes, getting people running again and all that. Little safety with the slides, but my biggest contention really is what we did change, and I'm not sure how you guys feel about it, but just the universal DH. I think it took a lot of strategy out of the game, and then they're talking about balls and strikes. I'm sure you've talked about this a lot, AJ, with you, and just like taking away the art of catching as well with the automated strike zone. So I'm kind of a purist in a lot of ways of just like leave the game alone. I know the torpedo bats have been a hot topic. They've been in the game for a few years now. And so like, that's a fun little adjustment. Everybody loves offense. But I'm of the ilk of, hey, a 1-0 game is actually a pretty damn good baseball game. So I'm pumping the brakes a little bit on the changes. I'm happy with some of the stuff that they've made just to get people running. I think that's fun. Put a little bit more pressure on defenses. But I would be interested to hear how you guys feel about the universal DH and taking the strategy away from the NL. I thought it was kind of fun to see what you would have to do around the 6th or 7th inning and a pitcher pitching well.
I loved it because you know why? It was faster games. It was faster games. You had to think way more. The American League, now baseball is my best 9 against your best 9, and we'll see what happens. But it was great when you had to, the 8-hole hitter's up. Is he going to bunt, or what are we going to do? Are they going to pinch hit? There was so much more strategy. I thought it was a better game, but plus it was like an hour faster game. So I'm all for the pitch clock and making the games faster and faster and faster. I just got to know, though, where are you right now? Because you're about to go on tour. Can we at least get like ceiling tiles? I'm in Florida. We don't have basements. But like, what is happening wherever you are? Like, did mom lock you in the basement for this interview?
No, the wife did, man. Honestly, it's funny because when you're rapping, and we were talking about, I've been rapping now for 17 years, came out 08. And you get banished to the basement often. We just gave birth to our 2-year-old too. It's like, well, not obviously, it's been 2 years now, but so she gets president over a lot of the rooms, and so I've had to move all of the recording equipment and stuff to the basement. I appreciate the acknowledgement though, but yeah, I actually kind of like it down here,
Also, I mean, Asher, you became, super famous years back for the I Love College song. I mean, we were texting in our chat as we're talking to you. Like, we can picture solo cups everywhere on the floor around you right now. Like, looks like a classic frat party basement right there. So we'll take it. And I wanted to actually ask you about that and how crazy it was back then when you burst onto the scene. Because also you have Rutgers, University of Miami. It was big there when I was there. AJ didn't go to college, so if you want to give him a little more detail on how big of a deal it was.
No, I mean, it's I'm honestly pretty fortunate that I came up when we did, because all the social media and stuff that's just capturing everything all the time. And so I think we came up at a perfect era where you could kind of still have fun, live your life, and not worry about recording it. And so in I Love College, the line is, I wish we taped it. And I think people can't even fathom that idea that it wasn't taped this day and age. But fortunate, man, we've been able to run around the country and even get overseas, even though they call it university over there. But it's been fun. And I think that's been something I'm really trying to keep in my life. And I think as you go through, specifically from an artistic standpoint, and I know obviously it lends itself to sports as well, you'll tinker with things. And as the league catches up with you, you try to adjust. And I think the same thing happens in musical careers as well. You want to push the envelope a little bit. You want to try new things. And so obviously coming out, having that college record, being extremely relatable, going through my career and getting to a point where just trying to reintroduce myself to an audience as you grow, and then getting to a point late 30s, trying to bring that fun back. And I think that there's an element to growing up, specifically of getting older without losing that little kid in you. And I think that's why I'm so attracted to the game of baseball as well, is because, you are playing a really a fun, beautiful sport. That, Little League, we're 3 blocks away from the Little League field that I still go down to. Really special moment in my life as far as camaraderie, social intelligence, and all those things. And so there's so many parallels between just a growing up music career and as you have a elongated career in baseball as well, as just adjustments, adaptation, and just not taking yourself or the game too seriously.
All right. Speaking of not taking yourself too seriously, your Casio is amazing that it's holding your microphone wires. So that's pretty sweet. I got to give you credit for that. I got to ask you this. Have you seen that you talked about social media and the things that's going on? Have you seen the white rapper Mount Rushmore that's flying around social media right now? Have you seen that whole thing?
I have, dude. I have.
I mean, what do you think? Give me some thoughts. I mean, Eminem's got to be on there. What about, the one guy, I had to figure out who these were, but the one guy next to Eminem looks like Jameson Taillon. I don't know if you know who he is. Right. He pitched for the Cubs. He looks just like him, though, in this picture.
Yeah, I think it's tough, right? Because you kind of want to take it like, this is a genuine discussion, but it's for social media. You want people to get outraged about it. You want people to comment on it and say no doubt. But, I think without a doubt in my mind, I'm on the Mount Rushmore of just rappers in general, but that's just how I feel. White rappers or not, but I'd probably be on the far right. I'm not sure who's up there. Probably closer to the back, but no, I think for the most part that's just to get people chatting. Everybody that's up there. I think who you're talking about is Russ. I forget who else is up, who they put up there, but yeah, I think that's just to get people chatting and saying that's not my white rapper, and I disagree with that Mount Rushmore.
Okay, that's fair. I like the confidence, though. I love the
come on,
confidence.
man,
Like, I feel like I should be on the Mount Rushmore of San Francisco Giants fans. Unfortunately, I never made it. I don't know why. I don't know why I've been.
At least catchers. Buster, Benito Santiago, Benji Molina, and you. Let's just go with that off top.
Boom.
I mean, I like Kurt Manwaring, but bam.
Yeah. I'm no Kurt Manwaring. I'm no Brian Johnson. What do you want me to say?
Right.
I can't help myself.
Hey,
when do you go? I was gonna say, when do you go on tour? Because you got a big tour coming up.
Yeah, we're going out in May, hitting major cities up and down. So Philly, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. We always try to catch a game when we're in Pittsburgh. PNC is such a beautiful park. And yeah, Boston as well. So we'll be out, I think, the 4th of May in New York, and then we'll run until the 20th. And I think we'll probably try to catch a game in Cleveland to end it.
Nice. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, in New York, when you're in New York, is there a game? Are you hitting a game then?
I didn't even check because we actually have some space in between. We're just kind of getting started. It's funny because like this tour is chronological. I mean, again, so many people know me just from the I Love College stuff that they've missed a big chunk of my career, and it's because I've kind of unplugged from the major label stuff consciously. I just thought that what was pushing and how they were going about their business left a lot to be desired, right? And so I went on an independent route and been releasing music on my own for a really long time. And so there's a core audience there, but I think the general public and casual fans are kind of like, I haven't heard of this guy or where he's been for a while. And so the show is kind of like theater in a lot of ways. I'll be talking and telling the story about why songs came about, why certain moves made, and give really insight into my career as a whole over the last 15 years. So I'm excited about it. New York, we don't really get an opportunity like a comedian would to like get up or just like go in somewhere unannounced because we play with a live band. There's a lot of production to it. So New York, we're kind of using as like a dress rehearsal to say, hey, make sure I'm not being too chatty when I'm trying to get my point across. But I'm excited about it. I think we'll be hitting our stride by the time we get to Atlanta on the 12th.
Now, will you be hitting up a Yankee game? I think they got a little homestand when you come into New York.
Well, look, as a Giants fan, we got Phillies this week, so I'll be there. As far as New York, we'll see. I like the series that we're just coming out of, though. That felt good, especially in the cold. Do we know who they're playing that week of May?
I can tell you. So they've got on the 4th, they're finishing up a series because that's a Sunday with the Rays. So that's a day game. And then the 5th, they start a series against the Padres, all night games.
Okay, I might need to go there to scout, and see what's going on. Padres are playing well. Yeah.
Got to come
Cinco
down
de
Jersey,
Mayo,
man.
too. Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. Wait, one more for you.
Yeah,
we got to get some fashion tips.
Last one for me. The City Connect jerseys for the Giants, man. What do you think of those jerseys? Have you seen them yet? And what do you think?
It's funny because I was watching the game when they debuted, and Kruko and Kipe were like, "Oh, these are good. They're into them." I really liked the orange ones. I was actually trying to find a old like late night Lamont orange because I thought that would just age well. These new ones, I don't know, man. The City Connects don't really speak to me. Again, I think it's just like I'm a little bit more of a traditionalist with it. I like what they're going for though, like the Bill Graham, Hayden Ashbury music and Fillmore vibe. And like I know that they were mentioning that like the wave forms of the music. I think the idea is there. I love the new color. I like the purple involved, but as a whole, I would still cast my vote for like just the white and the orange fog. I thought they were fun.
Yeah, I thought they were boring. You should go for the Orioles. Oh, you should go for the Orioles all orange. You'd love those then. But
I think I think we were winning. I think we won a bunch of games with those orange. So they just had good juju.
Good, true. All right. So who's the biggest Giants fan of musicians? It's you. And then when we won in 2005, we used Steve Perry and Journey, their song Don't Stop Believing. And then the Giants stole it from us because Steve Perry was from the Bay Area. Now, I'm not sure Steve Perry knows as much about the Giants as you do. So who's a bigger Giants fan, you or Journey?
Oh, it's got to be me. I'm on the Mount Rushmore for white rappers and musician Giant fans.
That's one of one right there.
Love that.
Right?
That is
No
one
one's
of
got
one
that
for
connection.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
If you called Eminem, wait, if the Giants played the Tigers, would you and Eminem have like a bet on who's winning this or what? Like, was it
Absolutely.
2012, the Tigers played the Giants. Did you guys have a bet on who was going to win? The Giants whooped them.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a story, though. It's funny because I actually really love how the Detroit Tigers are building their squads. I'm a Scott Harris fan as well. I like how GMs put their stuff together. And so when I played a show in New York, I actually just told this story online. I was wearing a Detroit Tigers hoodie, and I had the worst show of my life. I absolutely bombed. I was just like, nobody was connecting with. So I've sworn off all and any gear, specifically Detroit Tigers. So there's a real rivalry there for me, just for me specifically. I would love to see them again, hopefully this year, but we've got our work cut out for us against those Dodgers and Padres.
There you go. Yeah, and Padres, right. Hey, Asher, this was awesome, man. You know ball. A lot of respect from people in the chat. Good luck on the tour, too. Thanks for stopping by, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, gents, appreciate you guys, man. Be well.
Yeah, you too. Asher Roth with us. Make sure you check him out on tour. And obviously, good luck to his Giants this year. We'll be right back. All right, well, we have a couple minutes. The TV crowd's in break. AJ can spend some time telling everyone how the White Sox had a weekend. Dude, that was even close yesterday. What? They won 2 out of 3 against Boston. No? You're not impressed?
Bro, first of all, I'm going to say this right now, and I'm gonna go ahead. Todd, you can laugh at me because it's funny as hell. My 2 World Series picks, the Red Sox and the Braves, they both suck. They like sucky suck, both of them. Oh, my gosh. The Red Sox can't hit a lick. I mean, let's also – nothing against these guys. I played with Sean Newcomb, but they ran out Sean Newcomb and Casey Fitz, right? And then Crochet went out and dominated, right? Nothing against these guys. I know they're big league pitchers and all that, and I know Sean Newcomb, and he's been through a lot of stuff to be able to pitch in the big leagues again. But, man, you can't – if you're the Red Sox, you can't not lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. I'm sorry. But you know what it's karma for? Pap, you always bet against the damn White Sox, so suck it, Pap. You got 2 out of 3, and I was hoping they'd sweep you just so I could come on here and wear you out about the White Sox sweeping the Red Sox.
Boom. There you go. Hey, yeah, Crochet was awesome yesterday, by the way. Carried the no-no into the 8th, 11 punch-out, 7 to the 3rd. I mean, I'm looking at it like, damn, how do you not bet the over K prop here and just think he is going to be hell on earth? And he was. I mean, AJ, their offense has been flat, obviously. They got blown away 2 days ago, right in the first game, 11-1. Then it was a walk-off for the White Sox. And then even in this one, I mean, it was 2-1 until the 9th. Story hits a homer, makes it 3-1. White Sox either pitched well against them or their offense is having issues.
Thank God for Trevor Story. Trevor Story's been like their best player by far. And Breggy's doing all right, but Devers still, I mean, Devers had a few good games, but he's still not where Rafael Devers. Duran hasn't gotten it going yet. It's just they haven't hit. I mean, I know they missed Connor Wong, but oh man, I don't know. This is by the way, Costas looks. I don't know. It looks like me playing first base over there sometimes. I don't know what's going on. It's like oof. It's just their defense hasn't been great and their hitting hasn't been great, and that leads to not being a very good team. And Red Sox need to pick it up big time.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, luckily for the Red Sox, like the division's all going through weirdness. I mean, the Orioles rotation's in shambles. Now the Yankees rotation is shambles, which we'll talk about later. Not necessarily in shambles, but definitely in a tough spot. You know, it's 2 guys, and then you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, and you gotta win at least the series here, man. You're playing against one of the worst teams, so
ever.
I mean, Bregman's doing well too. It's just they're not putting it all together. My words of the day. It's early.
It is very early.
It's getting late early, as Yogi would say.
Yeah,
true. Let's hit Hot Corner. The Twins are off to a slow start. It's struggle city for them. They did pick up a win yesterday, but lost another series. And there was a play on Saturday where Jose Miranda thought he was out, so he starts heading back to the dugout, but he was not out. The umpire called him safe. He was never tagged, so he was optioned after the game. Now, he was off to a very slow start. He was hitting 167 with no pop, but Rocco Baldelli definitely laid it out after the game and said Miranda has to do better on that play. Cole Keith wasn't on the bag. Jose didn't make it to the bag on the slide either way. Umpire was clearly signaling safe. We have to be paying attention and never allow something like that to happen. We're showing you the play right now. If you're checking us out, podcast later on, audio-wise, then you can watch this if you tune in later. But
How did they see that?
how crazy is that? Like, to me, I mean, I can't relate. How does that happen? Like, is it just the ultimate brain fart here? And do you think, obviously he wasn't hitting, but do you think that they're like, hey, we got to send a message. This team is flat right now. We're optioning this guy out.
I think maybe the only other thing I think of, it's on his mind that he's not hitting. Like, oh, God, I got to hit. And forget about the scenarios and the situations and what to look for. I mean, you slid right there and you saw the guy catch the ball with his foot nowhere near the bag. You just get up, I'm going to go in the dugout. Yeah, I mean, that feel bad for yourself, man. Nobody feels bad for you, man. It's a tough league, and he's got to be better. And I think the message was definitely sent.
Gosh, there's a lot of things here to unravel. I don't know that he got sent down because of this play. It just didn't look good. I think he was. I don't know. I mean, how many guys make mistakes all the time? So to say, yeah, he made a mental mistake. I mean, Scott, Todd, I'm sure when Scott, when you're playing Tiddlywinks, you forgot how to play. And Todd, I'm sure once or twice you forgot how many outs there were on the bases and did some, took off or whatever. People make mistakes. To me, it was just, I don't know. You just assume you're out because you slide and it's the big leagues. And I think sometimes when you're in the big leagues, you just like, oh, I'm out. And he made a mistake. And I don't know that's why he got sent down, but I don't know. It stinks. It's a bad look. The Twins need to do something. So was he the sacrificial sacrifice to the gods, baseball gods? Maybe. But I hope it doesn't affect, us being able to get Hamilton tickets.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's Lin-Manuel Miranda, creator of Hamilton's cousin. And Miranda's a good dude. He's a nice guy, good interview. He's had some ups and downs here. He wasn't hitting, like I mentioned. It's early in the season. But also, AJ, I mean, the Twins are 5-11, a half game up on the White Sox, who are 4-11. And then there's the rest of the division in front of them that looks pretty good, which is what we expected, right? The Tigers, the Guardians, the Royals, none of them are running away to start the year. Like, they're all off to okay starts. But if you're Minnesota, you're 5-11 already. Last year you had an epic collapse, 12-27, after blowing a, what I think Fangraphs called 92% chance of making the playoffs at that point in the season. And Ken Rosenthal covered this, I think, a little bit unfair territory and really alluded to his article talking about managers on the hot seat. Something's got to change there. And I don't know if it's Rocco's fault because he's dealing with what he's got, but there's been staleness with the roster. I mean, do you think that the team looks at what's gone on over the past couple of years, including the collapse, and then the same team rolling out here for the next year, and it hurts their chances and the vibes in the clubhouse of a team that fell apart and nothing changed?
I don't know. I think that's why this was an important move for them. I think if you talk to Twins fans, they'll say, man, Rocco's always positive, always positive. And listen, we all, as a former player, you love a positive manager. Like, you're like, oh, he's got my back, this and that. But there's got to be a chance where, by the way, can we change Ken's little thing to the picture of him as the fake toy thing while I'm talking? That'd be awesome. Yeah, thanks, producer lady. But the Twins fans that I know, because I still have friends up there, say, man, we need somebody that's going to get a little bit, into them a little bit every once in a while. And everything is not always hunky-dory. And is Rocco on the hot seat? I think he's got to be a little bit because of the collapse and then the way they started. Because, again, going into this season, if you looked at the projected standings, they were supposed to win the division. They're 5-11. So you say one year doesn't carry over the next year, but so far, the end of 24 looks like it's carried into the beginning of 25. And I know they have some injuries, Royce Lewis and some other guys, but still, you'd think this team should be better.
Yeah, Pablo Lopez is out. I mean, they're missing guys.
Agreed. Hey, there's nothing else to do. It's just that central, just like kind of do. Like,
but there's some good teams.
Yeah,
I like the the Tigers and the Royals I like a
Yeah.
lot. The Guardians are going to be there.
Yeah.
I think the Twins are the 4th place team. I felt really
Yeah.
confident about that heading into the year.
They just don't do it for us right now.
No.
I mean, for anybody, it's just like going through the motions kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the Athletics. So a couple things from the weekend. First of all, Luis Severino, who signed with Sacramento, said he told the Mets he was willing to accept less for a return than the 3-year deal he got from the A's worth $67 million. And he actually gave the number out. He was willing to accept 2 years, $40 million. The Mets, quote, had other plans. There's a lot to slice up here, too. Number one, do you think he should have done that, right? Because do you think a player should take $27 million less to sign with the Mets because he feels comfortable there? And should the Mets have taken him up on that?
They should have. Most definitely they should have. Over 6 years. He said they wanted 2 for 34. I love everything
2 for
about
40.
It. No, but he came out and said that the Mets said they would do 2 for 34.
Oh, that's what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
So they were 6 apart?
They were $6 million. I watched the whole thing.
Wait, and do you know who they gave that money to?
Frankie Montas.
2 years, 34.
That's what they say. He said in the interview they wanted to give me a Frankie Montas deal, and he said no. And I think this would all be mute if he didn't have a 3-year, $67 million contract. You know what I mean? So he had that. You know, I just don't understand it. And, you know, as a fan, you're watching in like, bro, really over $6 million? I mean, but he had $67 million in the back pocket. So yeah, he's taking $27 million off of a contract. This is business 101. You got a nickel and dime as much as you can. And guess what? He wanted $40 million. It's $6 million more. I think Cohen made a mistake here, if you want the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He pitched well last year. They fixed his tips, you know, what he was leaking when he was pitching, whatever it was, with his breathing, that everybody could tell what he was throwing. And, you know, I love this because you don't hear this too often from players. But, you know, to come out and say that and kind of get it off your chest a little bit, you know, proud of him for doing that. But, yeah, it was we were all taken back a little bit on that.
I love this. We want honesty. This is what we always ask. Don't we always ask players, hey, who else offered you? What did they give you? And players are like, I don't really want to talk about it. Good for you, Luis Severino. Awesome. You want to throw the Mets straight under the bus? You just did it. Beep, 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 beep. And it's backing up. Beep, beep. It went over him. And now it's backing to back up again. I love this. Are you kidding me? This is awesome. Tell people why is it such a secret who offered you and what they offered you? Why are we keeping it down? You know what? He was happy in New York. He wanted to go back for less. He ended up getting more in Sacramento. Yes, they're the Sacramento A's. I'll say it. But it's awesome. I think this is great. I think it's good for the game. It lets other people know what they're thinking. And, you know, everyone that says, oh, the Mets are, you know, spending all this money. Well, they're trying to be a little thrifty on certain guys. For a guy that wanted to come back, $6 million isn't a lot for a 2-year deal. So good on you, Severino. And, yeah, like Todd said, this doesn't look great on the Mets because they could have used him. He was healthy for him and he pitched well for him. So, I don't know. But, hey, he got his money, so even better for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know, to go on your point, you know, why players don't do it, because I think most of them, they try and whether they're whatever deal they had and whoever they talk to, they're hoping that they don't get blackballed by other teams. Like, oh, this guy's got the voice. We don't want him on there because guess what? He's going to blurt out our business. I think that's probably the only reason. But I think Severino understands this is going to be his biggest contract. And unless all of a sudden he comes out and, you know, turns into Nolan Ryan or whatever it is. But, yes, he's no idiot. Good for him.
Yeah, and for the Mets, so basically they were like, we got 34 mil. If you take that, we'll take you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're giving it to Montas. See,
No. Yeah,
you know?
they gave Montas a deal.
Right.
They said, we're going to give you the Montas deal. That's it. Take it or leave it. From what he was saying.
Well, I'm sorry. They don't have the same track record over the past
I
year.
agree.
Sorry about it, AJ.
Right.
To me, I mean, obviously we were hard on them when they did that deal. And it has an opt-out after year one, which obviously is not going to take now because he's hurt. But to me, those pitchers are not in the same category right now. They might be for them based on, I don't know, some peripheral numbers they're looking at. But to me, they're not in the same category.
Listen, Luis Severino pitched in New York last year, pitched well. So they know he can handle it, right? Pitched huge playoff games for him. Frankie Montas came over to the Yankees, and this is sad, and I hate saying this, but he didn't pitch. He was hurt. So you don't know how he's going to react to being in New York, and now he's hurt again, and that's a shame. But you had a proven track record guy that was going to sign a deal for less money, and you say no? I don't know, man. That's just not the way I would want to run an organization. But again, Mets money, they can do whatever they want with it. It's not my call. But good for you, Severino, for getting a better deal.
And now we're going to track those two even more so to see who has, the better second half, because obviously Montas is out for a minute, and maybe who factors into the playoffs. Did you guys see the minor league bullpen cart run out of steam this weekend?
No, I didn't see
for the
that.
A's. I think we got it, but they had to get another card, a backup card. It is minor league baseball. I think they said it on the Mets broadcast at one point. They're like, "This is the minor leagues. This is what happens."
How does that happen, though? How does it happen? I've never. How does this? It's Siri was on that. Wasn't Siri on that from when he fouled the ball off his shin?
Yes.
And they had to go. First of all, Todd, I don't know about you, but have you ever fouled a ball off your shin so bad you needed a bullpen card to take you off the field?
I've had a bad one, but nothing. I've usually walked it off.
I know. I thought that was funny, but I mean, not funny. It's sad that he was hurt, but it was funny they needed the cart, and then of course they call the cart. It runs out of gas. Like don't they check these things before they take them on the field, Scott? I don't know.
Damn, I would hope so. I would hope so.
You would think, right?
Yeah, we got some struggles out there in Sacto right now. I mean, they're feeling it. It could be worse, and it might get worse. We're on.
Could be worse. It could be worse. How did you see the pictures they showed of the crowds the other day? There was like nobody at the games.
Yeah,
they're playing the Mets. They're playing the Mets. That's a big market team with fans everywhere. So far in Sacramento, they've had the Cubs, the Padres, and the Mets. Wait till the Rockies or someone like that comes into town. Not knocking the Rockies fans, but they don't have the national following that the Cubs, especially the Cubs and the Mets, and even the Padres do, because they're not that far away. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Not a good sign.
I genuinely thought that they would have more excitement just because they're getting a major league team for a little bit of time, but I think there's a stench going on.
They didn't want it, though. If you name it the Sacramento A's, even for a couple years, the people will get behind it. But by saying, "Oh, we're not going to claim you, we're just using you for a couple years," people in Sacramento are like, "What?"
Yeah, it's a good call.
It stings.
It does. It stings. All right, we'll swing back. We'll talk to Lance Brozdowski about the big Paul Skeens next matchup for him tonight that we're going to go over. And then also we'll talk about the Cubs a little bit. Any other pitching thoughts we'll get into with Lance coming up next.
My favorite guy.
Your boy. Can't wait. Hey, we'll get to this part here from the A's as well. This could be good news for them. Nick Kurtz was their first-round pick last year out of Wake Forest. He can really hit, 4th overall. His position is hitter. Okay, he's a first baseman, but hitter. He'll probably DH. Yeah, and they probably want to call him up pretty soon, AJ, but they're going to start to have to play a little bit of musical chairs. Rooker hadn't played the outfield in a year. They put him out there. They're hoping to have him and Butler on the corners, because then you've got Kurtz. Soderstrom is swinging the crap out of the bat right now, but you can't DH everybody. So if Rooker's going to play outfield, then you could put Soderstrom and Kurtz in a little mix at first base and one of them at DH. It seems like that's going to be the plan, and probably soon, because Kurtz can really help them. I think he's ready now.
You're right. He can swing. He's been raking too. And plus, you know what? He's in AAA, right?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought he was. So
it's either double or triple. It's upper minors. Like it's
either one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He needs to, if he can help them, he needs to be there. Yeah. He's in AAA, right? He's in Vegas. So I think that if he needs to be there, if he can help them, he needs to be there. They're not gaining anything by keeping him down service time wise. I know we don't talk about it as much because they've tried to eliminate it, but it still is. If he's ready to be there, service time manipulation is still a thing for teams. I'm sorry.
Right. Oh, so you're saying they're going to keep him down for a little bit and wait until well, we're already pretty much at that point, right, for the service time clock, but you're saying maybe the Super 2 clock too?
All of it. That's what the service time manipulation is, to dodge the Super 2, because then you have an extra year of arbitration.
Right. I do think, though, Rooker is a sign that they're getting ready for that they need to start getting him some outfield time again.
True. Agreed. I don't know. I just think if he can help him, he needs to be there. Like, I'm a big believer as a former player, and I think Todd would feel the same way. Like, if a guy can help us win, let's get him here. I don't care about service time. Again, it's not my money. It's not my service time. Like, if a guy can help us in the minor leagues, let's bring him up and let's put him in a situation to help us. Because there's no tomorrow guaranteed.
No, this kid's been the best hitter in the minor leagues the first couple weeks of the year.
Cut it out. Let's go.
And he played obviously advanced college ball. He was a stud in college, and he looks unfazed so far. He looks like he's ready. I know it's quick, but anyway, let's talk to Lance Brozdowski. He's ready in 10 seconds. All right, we're back with Lance Brozdowski. You can check out his YouTube channel. You can hear him and watch him on Marquee. We'll talk Cubs in a little bit. But, Lance, great to have you on, man. I'm excited to chat more this evening on Playback. We'll do the all-cast. Hopefully people will follow along. It's totally free to sign up and watch. But are you ready for a Paul Skeens start? We picked this game weeks ago, so we just got lucky. We hit the lottery tonight.
Yeah, when you guys asked me to do this, I was looking and I was like, ooh, there's a chance Skeens lines up here, which makes this far more interesting. So I'm very happy about that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, agreed. So give me your take, your just big picture take on Paul Skeens and his progression and how he looks this year compared to last year.
Yeah, the big thing here, and I know a lot of other people have pointed this out, but he's throwing from a lower slot. So he slots down about like 6-7 degrees, which is pretty considerable for a pitcher. And the big thing that jumps out to me is he's ripping a ton of that sinker splinker thing. He jumped that usage first or second pitch of an AB up to 52%, I think, relative to like 35% last year. That's a pretty considerable gap. I know he talked a little about in spring training about wanting to pitch like more innings, go deeper into games. And I wonder whether the slot drop, that pitch looking a bit better, him just trying to generate contact early in count has really forced him into that. Hey, try to lift this pitch. It's really hard to lift. And as a result of that, maybe we see him push more consistently into like 7th, 8th inning. But I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see whether there's a shift back to more strikeouts eventually as the season goes on. That's an interesting balance to strike as a pitcher. We're seeing like Hunter Green really light the world on fire right now. Skeens may log 220 innings. Like, that'd be awesome to see that. So he's kind of blending some of the new school and the old school, which I think is great.
Yeah, and I think to stay on Skeens here, he has the mobility to move the ball wherever he wants with each and every pitch. And with that overpowering fastball, like you talk about all these pitches, what is that one pitch right now that you think is getting most guys out on? Is it the splinker or is it that nasty running fastball?
I think so. The thing I remember seeing, I think this is still applicable this year too, is like a lot of guys pitch backwards. You'll hear that a lot on a broadcast, but he had some of the largest like increase in fastball usage as he progressed into deep count situations relative to like anybody in the league. So if you're looking for a poster boy of pitching backwards, last year it was Paul Skeens. And I think he's still doing that this year. But again, I do think that splinker is really the pitch. It just has so much drop. He throws it so hard. I imagine like for a hitter, Todd, it's probably like impossible to lift that pitch. It's just, I don't understand. Like, it's a Logan Webb style thing where it's like, you got to pray that he gives it up in the zone a little. And even then you're probably still hitting it, 105 right into the dirt. And he's happy to take that pretty much every single time.
Lance, is this a flip in philosophy though from him to try to go deeper into games? Because normally if you get ground balls, you don't get as many strikeouts, so you can go deeper into games. So do you think that's maybe the difference in this little change that he has?
I think it is. I think maybe his goal this year is to throw like 200 plus as opposed to striking out 35% of the guys that he sees, I don't mind it. I mean, I think the Pirates need him for as many innings as possible, given the tumultuous bullpen they've had each of the last 2 seasons. They just can't seem to figure that out. So if he can give you 7 or 8 every time he throws, even if maybe for him as a pitcher, it's more optimal from a data standpoint to chase the strikeouts. If you think of the team context of him, I'd want him throwing in the 8th inning as opposed to whoever their setup man is.
Hey, you can't say that. You're an analytic guy. You can't say that. You got to go all analytics. You can't say, wait, there's a team thing and a person. No way. I thought these guys were robots.
Come on.
I mean, they're not robots. Wrong. That's all you said.
We make the optimal decisions with the robots, and then we massage it a little bit. You got to have some balance, AJ.
And then the players got to try to do the perfect all the time. But have the Cardinals figured out Skeens? They seem to hit him pretty good every time. It was like they had Kershaw's number back in the day. Now do they have Skeens' number? They're the one team that seems to do okay against them.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Isn't that the saying? That's where I'm going to go on that one.
There you go.
As a Cub,
Well,
he works for the Cubs. He can't say anything nice
I
about the
mean, what else am I
Cardinals.
supposed
Come
to
on.
say?
well, that's fine. We can go to the Cubs. So, Lance, are you buying what they're selling on offense right now? And of course, we have to get your.
Oh, you still got me? Sorry, you guys cut out.
No,
There you are.
yeah, we froze. All right.
Sorry about that.
Yep, we're good. We're good. We're back. Let's start with Justin Steele. What do you think of the injury and how it affects the Cubs the rest of the year here in the rotation? Can they hold up?
It's a brutal injury. Yeah, I mean, prior to the season, they had 2 pitchers projected as above average starters, and it was him and Shota, and now you're down to 1. So, I mean, I think this team is good. I think offensively, they're fantastic. But at the beginning of the season, the concern was always, okay, you get this team down the stretch into September, you start thinking about playoff situations. Like, who are you rolling out there as starting pitchers? We constantly see like those big starting pitchers, those teams with multiple starters, the Dodgers' ability to roll Glasnow to Yamamoto, etc. Those teams are the ones that are most intimidating. The Phillies do a great job of this. They have so much rotation depth. And then they got Jesus Luzardo, who looks fantastic. You match from a pure pitching standpoint, staff standpoint, the Cubs right now up with other teams. I struggle to see how they're going to compete in that capacity. Like, I think Colin Ray is kind of a fun addition, but he's limited in innings. Matt Boyd hasn't thrown 120 plus in what, 5 or 6 years. Brad Keller's a really fun reclamation project. So they have these puzzle pieces that I think for now can bridge them to, say, playoff or, excuse me, all-star break right around that area. But I think this team's going to have a lot of pressure come the deadline to make a move and add some kind of pitcher that you're a little more confident in.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting to hear from a Cub fan. I got to ask you this. The Cub offense now, they lead the league in run differential. Scott says it's the fakest stat of all time. Which one is it? Are they the best team of all time, or are they the fakest team of all time?
So there's a producer here. His name's Christopher Antonacci at Marquee. He's a good friend and he's a huge data nerd. We have come to the agreement that the way to do run differential is that when you win a game by more than 5 runs, in excess of the 5, those don't count towards your run differential. Because to me, like when you blow a team out 16 plus, like at some point there you have Miguel Rojas throwing 2 innings. Like that's just artificially inflating your run differential. I just want to know, like when you get above that 5 margin, how good you are. So throw out if you're winning 8-0, 9-0, 10-0. I don't think that indicates too much of like the raw skill of a given team. And a lot of the time on the data side, that's what we're trying to get into. Is like we're looking at process, we're looking at underlying things that we can allow ourselves to be a little bit more confident in predicting players going forward. And yeah, maybe that's a hot take here. It's a little bit against what a lot of people look at from like the what you want to nerd out and say Pythagorean win, where it's like, oh, if this team's plus 24 runs, then they should be 3 games over 500 or whatever it is. But I mean, you're winning 16-0. Like, what's the difference between 16-0 and 9-0, especially when Miggy Rojas is throwing 2 innings?
Thank
7
you.
runs.
Thank you.
7 runs.
Yes.
7 runs
Wait.
is the difference.
You go 7,
if
that's fine. I'm happy to adjust it up.
But it's
and
fake
if Todd and I
baseball at
drove
that
in
point.
those 7, if Todd and I drove in those 7, we go to arbitration, Todd. Those 7 runs count, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
They don't care who you hit
They-
them off of.
Yeah, they count. But when we're evaluating teams, Lance, I am totally with you. I haven't heard about that, but I like that much more, right? Because you are trying to get indicators to see are teams getting, cruise control wins, or are they constantly sweating out dubs? And yes, 1-run record can fluctuate. Although I do like 1-run record and just winning close games. I mean, I do think better bullpens can play to that, but it is certainly a much better way to slice it, Lance. I think that run differential itself just gets very lazy when we look at, teams that put together maybe, especially early in a season, a couple blowout wins. And then we're like, oh, good. They beat the Pirates 17-2. Then another time they beat them 15-5. And all of a sudden it gets inflated. So anyway, on the offensive side, what do you think of the Cubs offense, right? You watch almost every game. Do you think it's a much better offense this year? And is the reason primarily Kyle Tucker, or is there more?
Yeah, I think the reason is primarily Kyle Tucker. It's funny. I feel like I don't know what happened this offseason, AJ, but I feel like I've become a lot more turncoat here, and I'm considering the other angles. But offseason, the big angle was, okay, they need a star in that lineup. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but how much of a difference is that actually going to make? And then you watch Kyle Tucker for however many games they play, like 15 games or so. And I mean, this guy's ABs are insane. Like, he barrels everything that he hits. He hits everything hard, really good swing decisions. Like he commands the zone. It's one of those things where it just entirely changes that lineup from my perspective in terms of who's hitting around him. He's an exceptional player, and I mean, they're going to have a lot of pressure on them, I think, coming this season or off season, excuse me, to extend him and keep him in Chicago long term.
Can they do it? Can they do it? Not can they, because we know they can. Will they do it? Uh-oh.
Lance, you got us?
Uh-oh. I'm going to say no.
I mean, we got you, AJ, right?
Here.
I got
Hi,
AJ,
I'm Lance. Hi, I'm Lance. I'm going to say that they're going to be able to, even though
I don't think Lance
wrong.
can hear us. Yeah.
I know. By the way, I did have a question. I did really want to ask him about Matt Shaw because he was their super hype rookie. He's got off to a bad start. I want to know what he sees because he watches every game. He's got a real funky – Todd, have you seen his swing? He's got a real funky swing.
Yeah.
He's got a real funky setup. I don't know,
I don't even know how to call that.
I don't know what you mean.
It's strange.
Big, the toe?
Right. It's a big high leg kick. Are we talking about the same guy too?
Yeah, he's super closed off, and he goes high leg
closed
kick.
off. He's got the Edgar Renteria, I call it, but with the monster leg kick. Yeah. I don't know, man. Your timing's got to be really perfect for that to work, but he seems to have done a really good job with it.
Yeah. Well.
No, I mean to this point.
Start. Right. He's gotten to this point. He's gotten to this point.
Yeah.
In the minor leagues, he was fine.
Yeah. Do you think that he might have to change that up in the bigs?
It's hard to hit in the big leagues, Scott. I know.
That's what I'm saying.
It's hard, man. And the more moving parts you have, the harder it is. That's why you see the guys that are the best are super simple, super small. You know, I mean, there's a reason why guys like Barry Bonds, I hate to always go back to him, but he was very simple. He was very short and boom, direct, right? The guys that are the shortest and the directest, Albert Pujols was from here to here, right? It's when you have a lot of moving parts, everything has to sync up properly. I think it's kind of what Tyler Glasnow was talking about when he was talking about, get the ball like you're shooting three-pointers, just get it and shoot. Well, he's 6'8". He's got a lot of moving parts that have to align. When he gets that feeling, he just wants the ball and to go again, right? So if you got a lot of things going on, it's really hard to sync them all up.
I know that whenever you see, a guy's having a breakout year or he fixed something, you're never hearing like, he got much longer.
Yeah.
You always hear the same kind of few notes, right? He got more compact, he's shorter to the ball, the whole deal. Lance, you hearing us now?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
All right. So we wanted to get Matt Shaw thoughts, AJ, if you want to tee it up.
No, I was just asking. Matt Shaw came up with all the hype in the world. He was great in the minor leagues, and Todd and I were just talking about he's got a funky stance. Do you think that he'll be able to have the success he had in the minor leagues? Because he's got so much movement with his hands, with the way he stands, his leg kick. There's a lot of things that have to be timed up. Can he figure this out for the Cubs and be a weapon for him?
He can, but I do think it's going to require some tinkering. I agree with you. It's a weird swing. It's probably one of the weirdest swings in baseball. They had an overhead kind of bird's eye view of home yesterday on the Sunday Night Baseball broadcast. And you could see when he strides, that front leg almost comes over the plate and then drifts a little bit. He lands super close. And I remember talking to him in spring training a year ago, actually. And we were talking through his swing and I was like, man, you set up really close. And he's like, I don't think I do. And then I see him and I'm like, dude, you're super close. Adrian Beltre, there aren't a lot of guys that stand that close in the modern game. I feel like the stances as a whole have become slightly open, or guys start open and step maybe more neutral. So it's going to require some tinkering. He got chewed up by breaking balls at AAA last year. Teams are not throwing him a lot of fastballs. He's a really good fastball hitter. He's kind of got that inside out swing going to right field. I know a guy like James Wood does this, and we'll see him on the playback stream tonight. He's super in out, but Wood's raw bat speed is insane, such that approach can work. I wouldn't say I'm concerned about the long-term picture of Matt Shaw, but he's going to have to make some adjustments. I'm not sure if it's toning down the leg kick. You guys as hitters definitely have more thoughts there, I imagine, but I don't think the current version of Shaw is the one that in a year or two's time you're going, yeah, he's a great piece of the team, good defender, good bat to ball, etc. There's something that's going to break here that's going to allow him to actualize that upside.
All right, Lance, I want to get some other thoughts on pitching around the league. Obviously, you're watching and you're documenting changes for pitchers. Anything that you've pointed out recently, whether it's a pitch mix change that you're really buying for a pitcher to take off the rest of the year? I mean, this question always applies to many different fans, including ones that even play fantasy baseball. What do you like so far in the first few weeks that you think has stickiness to it?
Yeah, I mean, Hunter Green's an interesting one. He started last year in a very similar situation where we saw the fastball just jump in. He added a little vertical break. It was harder, etc. This season, what we're seeing is he's just throwing it more and throwing it directly over the plate, and it's blowing through hitters. And like, he's one of the more fascinating guys to me because there aren't a lot of guys in the league, I think, that could basically throw two pitches like 85-90% of the time, especially from the right side, the right-handed
Mhm.
pitcher. Like, I feel like a lot of the time you get that from lefties. I think of Shota Minaga on the Cubs, and there's probably other names there too. You could kind of go like fastball change, fastball split, and get through a lineup a couple times. Green is doing it with fastball slider, basically. I know he's got the splitter in his back pocket, but he doesn't use that a ton. The other one I'll point out, I just wrote about actually on my Substack, is Joe Boyle. He's got this like crazy sinker thing, and I know the guy's never had command. He was with the Athletics last year. He was throwing like a bunch of breaking balls, but it seems like the Rays cleaned up some of his mechanics. He's really like fastball, shorter slider, and this weird sinker splitter thing. It's a wacky pitch. Like, he's thrown at 93. He's got a high slot. It dives a ton. I'm not necessarily sure if he's going to be like a world beater on the command side of things, but I mean, the Rays are a factory in terms of being able to churn out these pitchers. And so far, I mean, I'm pretty encouraged by what I've seen from Joe Boyle.
Yeah, you know how it works. I mean, it still applies. You get a call. I don't think
Name
about
it.
any trade, but still about a pitcher, and you're like, the Rays want him. Hold on, actually, we're gonna keep him. We're gonna.
We
keep
got to
him now.
name it. Name the pitch, Lance. We got to name the Doyle pitch. I mean, the splinker, the sweeper.
It's the Doyle
Slinker,
rules.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
Doyle
hit it.
It's a
rules.
weird one though, because his is more of like a true split grip. I showed this. I'm gonna actually, I had a tweet queued up before I hopped on here, but it looks like a true splitter to me. Like, if you look at Skeens' splinker, that looks a little more like a true sinker. He's kind of, I don't have a ball near me, but he's like right on the inside of the horseshoe. It's a weird spot. But if you look at Boyle's, it just looks like a splitter. So I'm not entirely sure how he's able to pick up that drop or what he's doing, how his body moves through that release to be able to get that amount of movement at velo and stuff. But it's really impressive. Kudos to him or the Rays. I'm not entirely sure how he came up with the pitch, but it's sick.
Sinky splitter.
So I'm fine with it.
We're
Yeah,
always
we just
making
gotta
up
give
new
it
stuff on the data side. I know you guys hate it.
Yeah. No. I mean, I don't know how they feel, but I'm a marketing guy, so I'm all for naming a variety of pitches. Right? It's like you talk to a kid and you're like, "Oh, Kodai Senga," and they're like, "Ghost fork." Boom. We need more of that.
Yep.
So just throwing it out there. Hey, Lance, we're gonna do a lot more of this later. So rest up. We'll talk to you on the game. All right.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
Thanks. Yeah, you too. Appreciate you. Yep. Watch party tonight. You're like Pirates, Nats. I mean, we're being real here. These are not going to be playoff teams most likely, but they have some exciting players to watch,
Yes.
and it's a Paul Skeens start. So just kick back, enjoy it. It starts a little bit earlier than some of the other games, 6:40 Eastern time tonight on Playback. Very easy way to get involved. You can even just type in Foul Territory Playback on Google, and you'll be able to sign up right now. If you're like, I can't get the whole MLB.TV package, the whole deal, it's the free game of the day unless they switch it in the next hour and realize Skeens is pitching. But if not, that's your game. So you get to watch it free with us. We'll see you then. We'll be right back. BetMGM locks. First, a look back to Friday. Todd Father, banger. You got some offense in the Mets and the A's. Yep. And for me, I've got a few this year where I'm doing like my 5-star-ish picks. I'm not calling them that. I'm just throwing like triple money on them. So I did it on Friday. Actually, it was a sweaty bet. They won by a run, but Detroit did beat the Twins. So I'm back in the plus. Kratz actually didn't show up today.
I told him not. Remember?
I know. You told him.
I said, bro, you can't do the doubles anymore, man. They're hard to hit. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, especially when you're cold. Like, play it, keep it simple, go back to your core. Kratz is a strikeout prop guy, and he's getting away from that. So anyway, AJ, Todd Father was like, can I give you some advice? Maybe don't parlay today. And Kratz is like, eat dirt. And he did it, and he lost.
Parlay, baby. Every day we
but not everybody's good at it.
Every day we parlay. Every day we parlay. Where's Asher? We need a new song.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's going to be that one. He might not join us again if he hears that chorus.
Oh
but
my god!
What are you going with tonight?
Me, I'm just looking at one game: the Astros and the Cardinals. Over 5.5 for Framber Valdez and over 5.5 for Sonny Gray. The Astros strike out a lot, so that was the one I'm kind of worried about. But both over 5.5 punch outs, and it's like 240 or something like that.
Okay.
Plus 240, 230, 231.
Let me see. You're at plus 260, baby, for that one.
My bad.
You put those two together, Gray and Valdez, plus 260.
Hey now.
All right.
Hey now.
We'll do Todd Fathers later. We can do mine real quick right now.
Yours.
We'll do 2 more later. We got Todd Father and Pap. We'll do mine real quick. Colorado's playing LA. I got Dustin May against Antonio Senzatella. Dodgers coming off a series loss to the Cubs. I just think they're going to bludgeon the Rockies, but it is really expensive to pick them on a run line even. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get some offense in here. So I'm going to go over 8.5 at -115. Just keep it simple. 115 to win a hundo. Good luck tonight. And then we'll get to Todd Father and to Parlay Pap a little bit later on. Not to mention the Rockies just got shut out. Was it in all 3 games? Yeah. By the Padres, who can pitch and have the best record in baseball right now at 13-3. Michael King looks insanely good.
Yes, he does.
Rockies are going to get shut out 4 games in a row with May and the Dodgers bullpen. I'm like, nah, I think they'll get a few runs.
It's gonna be
that could be
May.
an 8-2 win for the Dodgers tonight, perhaps.
Babe.
Okay. Injuries do suck. Marcus Stroman got smashed on Friday, didn't get out of the first inning, AJ, and then goes on the IL with knee inflammation. So there's another starter down for the Yankees. I mean, he does not look good. He's got about an 11.5 ERA to start the year. They did some imaging, saw some inflammation. So he hits the shelf. That's no Cole. That's no Heel. Obviously, Stroman, who many Yankee fans don't want to see right now, but maybe he was really hurt and he'll get healthy again. So they're missing a lot. Schmidt hasn't come back yet, but I think that's coming back soon. So they've got Fried and Rodon. And if you're a Yanks fan, you're like, hey, Yanks, good job on signing up for Max Fried because he looks stupid good right now. And they'd be in a bad spot without him. Offense is clicking, but what did you think of Stroman on Friday?
Well, it was rainy. It was nasty out. I don't know. I'm going to defer to Todd on this one because he knows more about the Yankees. I watched some of that game. Yankee fans were not super happy about that whole performance. On the IL, I mean, listen, I don't know. I mean, he didn't make it out of the first inning, so it was maybe he heard it when the rain. I don't know. Maybe he had something going on before. I don't know. Just get healthy, Marcus. Please, just get healthy. I just don't know. I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't know.
You said I don't know 6 times in a matter of 10 seconds. That was incredible.
Yankee fans want him cut.
Because nobody knows. Nobody knows. That's why I was like, I'll defer to you, Todd.
No, and I think, and I don't have all the answers either, but I think if you think about a knee injury, whether it's the back knee or front knee, you need the back one to push off. You need the front knee to stabilize you after you pitch. So it kind of looked like he was trying to tinker with the corners a little bit, and he's not overpowering anymore. He's not. His ball moves, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, 89, 91, it's hard. You got to move the ball which way, and he's not Greg Maddux either. It's just a guy right now that was, fighting to stay on the field. And, as you saw, it didn't work out in the first inning. When you have some sort of injury, and I'm not making an excuse, but I'm saying, especially with your legs and you're a pitcher, something's got to give. And if you're not throwing strikes either, it's going to be a hard time for him.
He's got the vesting option too. If he hits, 140 innings this year. Now, obviously, we'll see how long he's out, but Yankee fans
it's going
are
to be
like,
hard to do.
No, it's an extra $18 million. I mean, they're
judging
awesome fast.
Him, but
hey, remember in spring training, a couple guys go down and they're like, "Oh, good thing we got Stroman in the back end. That's at least a 5-starter for us." Now they're like, "Oh, he looks terrible. Get him out of there." But who are the replacements? That's my question. I'm okay with a quick hook on guys that could only have a year left in a deal, but are you good with the rest of the rotation, or do you need to eat those innings? Because even if you're calling up young guys, you're what?
Someone's got to eat those innings.
And then what happens if they don't and the bullpen works too much? What happens in September?
So before that, Clark Schmidt comes out. I think Will Warren still has a job now.
Yeah.
Which is good because he finally got the dub the other day. He looked pretty good. But they're going to have to claw. They're going to have to find someone down there. I don't know who the answer is right now, but they have to find somebody else that's going to help them out because injuries, as we know, they stink. And so there's going to be something here and there that's going to happen. They don't have their big guns that can come out and just, pitch, heal. Garrett Cole, they don't have those guys. And they're another one just like the Cubs. They might have to go out and fish for somebody and get another pitcher in there.
how the hell does Spencer Turnbull not have a job? His age 31 season last year with Philly, a 2.65 ERA, 17 appearances, 7 of them starts. And I know he's had his fair share of injuries. Remember, they booted him out of the rotation and back into the bullpen. And then he got hurt with the lat injury after that. He looked fire to start the year. I mean, AJ, is he asking for $15 million? Like, how does a team not sign someone like him up?
You should be his agent, Scott, because you have been on him for like a month now. So you should.
I
definitely
have not. I'm just pointing him out. And Mark
you said Spencer
talked about him.
You have said Spencer Turnbull a lot, which is great. He had a great year last year. The funniest thing I saw this weekend from Yankee fans was Carlos Rodon went out and pitched like 92 great pitches, and then he has like 8 bad ones, and everyone's like, "How does Carlos Rodon throw 92 great pitches and then have 8 where he gives up like 3 homers?" It's like the biggest puzzle of all time. Like Carlos Rodon looks like a Cy Young winner, and then for some reason he throws 3 pitches and they all get hit for homers. That's what I took from this weekend. That's what for Yankee fans, it was kind of funny.
Well,
you know, we're up here. We always find the negative.
Yeah, of course.
That's just the way
Hey.
we're
It's
bled
just
up
so
here.
funny. It was all over Twitter. It was like Carlos
Yeah.
Rodon looks like a Cy Young for 90 pitches, and he throws 8 and 3 homers are hit. What changes?
That's the thing. Those bad ones, you know, you're hoping they miss barrel, but with him sometimes they absolutely murder or crush the ball. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, the Yankees are hitting, so they're okay right now. They're treading water.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about multiple rotations in that division. All right, we'll
Max
swing
Fried
right
better
back.
stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. That is your guy. Then it's panic mode, and that leads off the show. But stay healthy, Max, because he's been awesome.
FT fam, my people of FT, what's happening? It's your boy Parlay Pap today. It's not Pick a Pap, it's Parlay Pap. Coming to you with my pick. My pick today is pretty simple, man. I'm going with the 2 best pitchers, one in the National League, one in the American League. I'm going with Scooble and the Detroit Tigers run line at -1.5. They're going to win by 2 today. They got their guy going. And I'm going with the same thing with Paul Skeens run line, -1.5 today. So let's get that cheese. We're taking 2 of the best pitchers today. That's easy cheese. Let's get
You know why Pap didn't know who
AJ?
to pick today? Pap didn't know who
Why?
to pick today because the White Sox weren't playing, so he don't know who to pick
That's
today.
true.
That's why he's like, oh, not pick 'em, Pap. I'm Parlay Pap. But you know what he's still recovering from? That ass kicking the White Sox gave the Red Sox. So too bad, Pap.
Where's our dub?
I'm going with the Mets today. I like Clay Holmes. I like him on the bump. Playing against the Twins, who we talked about, are pretty much hit or miss. A lot of miss lately, but I'm going to stick with them. First games, I feel like they come out and they're on fire. So I'm going to go Mets money line. It's at even money, 2 to win 2. Good luck to those Metropolitans.
2 hundo?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I like it. Hey, BetMGM fam, if you are new to the app or to the website, sign up, get an account, and you can use the bonus code FOUL, FOUL, get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. If you don't win that first bet, that's your new player offer. There's plenty of retention bets too, right? Where you're already in there and we want to keep you in there. So there's odds boost tokens, all kinds of things thrown your way. We'll talk more about them as the week continues. But if you're new and you want to get involved, there it is. Bonus code FOUL, FOUL. Gambling problem or concern, there's help. Call 1-800-GAMBLER, and we'll be right back. right, let's slap. First off, we didn't have time for everything from the weekend, but Ellie De La Cruz on his switch hitting bobblehead night, where those things were selling like hotcakes online later on. Grand Slam. How you doing?
High one too. Way
Not
up.
bad. Yeah,
Way up. I thought it was Pop 5. I forgot what stadium we're at.
That's
It's
right.
like I've never played there.
The small park, it works. It works sometimes in your favor.
Oh.
That's cool though. If you go to a game, like you're a kid and you're going to your first game and you get a cool handout, and then the dude you get
performs too.
Yeah, like that's awesome. Obviously, Ohtani did it on his bobble the other day, where he had
Who
the
hasn't
walk
homered
off.
on their bobblehead day? Who hasn't homered on their bobblehead day, Scott?
Have you?
Ooh.
Of course. Come on, bro.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
Good for you.
R.A. Dickey tried to sneak the knuckleball by the rat, and it didn't work.
Hey, before he goes on, when you faced R.A. Dig, you know the old saying, knuckleball, if it's high, let us 5, if it's low, let it go. I did the opposite with him because he threw it harder than Tim Wakefield. He threw it like 10 miles an hour faster.
He threw like 85 knuckleball.
That was his fastball. No, but you know what I'm saying? If it was high, I'd let it go. If it was low, it stayed right up on the knees. You could scoop that jelly and just kick one out of there, but whatever.
Agreed. High, let it fly. Low, let it go.
I had a couple homers off him too.
Yeah,
yeah.
You got him. All right. So you guys actually helped to retire knuckleballers, because we really barely get them anymore. I know we got Waldron, but I mean you don't see many.
That's why I retired.
Yes.
They got rid of the knucklers. You're like, all right, I'm done.
Same.
Cal Raleigh, by the way, homer in 3 straight games now, and
torpedo.
He happened to get himself a little torpedo bat. So that's a fun story to follow.
That homer he had did like one-handed. Same thing. It was low, got down to a knee on what was that? The changeup, split change or whatever it was. That was a nice, epic home run swings. I love those.
And they need it.
Oh my God.
Mariners need that offense.
They got a hit.
Yeah. And then I mentioned this for a second earlier, but AJ, I think this is actually a huge underrated signing. Jose Quintana, I believe, got overlooked. Brewers pick him up. His debut against the Diamondbacks, a very good offense. What was that? Friday, 7 shutty, 4 hits, no walks, 2 Ks. Classic Quintana performance. And they've watched him burn them for years. They're like, enough, Uncle, we're done. Join us.
My boy Q, he's still doing it. One of the happiest guys you'll ever be around in your life. One of the happiest dudes of all time. Great fella. Just happy that he's still pitching, and he has great numbers in Milwaukee. So check him out.
I think it's going to be a huge, huge signing for the Brewers. That's a value signing right there. Ken Rosenthal is on with us tomorrow, and your boy Buck Showalter is on with us tomorrow to start making some regular hellos with us, which will be fun. So we'll see you then. Back for a few minutes for anything we didn't get to, including a shout out to Homage. So I actually wore the starter jacket today.
Quick and fresh. Hopefully you won't need that for long. Weather's going to get warmer, but
I just wanted to show it off.
You got to bump your chest out like that. I don't know why you had to do that. You want me to bring it down like this? That's how I look.
Yeah. No.
It's a sweet jacket, though.
Do you see the color pop?
100%. That's
nice.
It's like game used.
Yeah. Good job, Homage starter jackets. You can get them online. Homage.com/foul territory. Use the code foul territory for 20% off. I just got some other shirts in my order too, so I will bring those down to Florida so I can sit next to AJ and he can see them in person. They're coming this week.
Nice. Bring them on down because the weather here is perfect. Trust me. I was sitting in a blind this morning. It was 60 degrees when we sat down, and when I got up, it was 80 degrees. It was perfect weather. Perfect turkey hunting weather today.
It has been real nice. There it is, though. Homage.com/foul territory. Use the code foul territory for 20% off. Thanks to Tyler Glasnow for joining us earlier in the show. Dodgers territory is coming up next. We got a pretty loaded schedule for you on Mondays. So Fair Territory is already out. If you want to check that out and you missed it, it's on YouTube. It's on podcast. Please subscribe also to this YouTube channel, as it's pretty close to 90,000 subs. So we're on the trek to 100K. Should get there pretty soon. And then we've got Baseball America's Hot Sheet Show, which comes through after Dodgers territory at 3:30 Eastern time. And then 6:40 first pitch for Paul Skeens and the Pirates against the Washington Nationals. Man, Pirates got to get going. Nationals still have a year, I feel like, with their fan base, AJ, of time before they're going to start to get a little bit nudgy. But Pirates fans are losing their shit right now.
Pirates fans have lost it. Nationals,
Yeah.
you're right. They might have one more year, but yes.
Yeah, Pittsburgh needs to get going because the NL Central should be a little bit better this year. Cubs look like they'll be better, right? Reds should be, I think, a little bit better.
Yeah.
Brewers should be in a similar range. Cardinals are not bad. I've been saying this. This is not a bad team.
No.
It wasn't like a disaster team last year, and they fell off more towards the end of the year, but like they do have some fun emerging young players. They're not bad. Like they might be a 500 team. So then you're looking around in the division, you're like, who am I picking on? Who do the Pirates pick on?
St. Louis? I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. They don't
it.
have a Rockies. They don't have
No.
a Marlins and Nationals. Well, I mean, yeah, Marlins and Nationals.
Yeah.
AJ, they don't have.
Got a hit.
What? The White Sox. I don't know if there's going to be a bad team. I think it might be them.
What do they say? If you don't know who it is, it's usually you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I forgot one show too. Mayday, Trevor May's weekly show on Mondays. Also in between all of those. There it is. We didn't forget about you, Trevor. So Dodgers territory now. Hot Sheet 3:30, Mayday 4. Playback at 6:40. Lance Brozdowski and JJ Cooper will join me. Maybe some others as well to watch that game. So we'll be hanging with you the rest of the day. There's the watch party on the way out. All right, AJ, keep it warm down there. I'm coming back tomorrow if I can make a 6 a.m. flight. Wish me luck.
Come on.
I mean, how do you miss that?
I do. I can show you. It's not hard.